What's up, everybody? Can you hear me? I think it's going. It told me that there was a problem, and it told me that it wasn't live, and now I think that it is live. What up, everybody? Okay, here we go. Let me quiet my echoes here. Happy Saturday night. Took me just a little bit longer to get set up. I was messing with a couple of the settings. I still don't think I dialed it in right. If you tuned in last night, you saw that I'm still kind of trying to get everything set up. I'm still a little bit far away from having it completely dialed in. It's getting a little bit better each time. I guess that's all I can hope for. Just a small improvement each time is all I'm actually looking for. This is something new and cool. What up, Christopher? What up, Obi, Julie, Miguel, Joy? All right, so just so you know the plan for tonight, I have a bunch of things queued up for us to watch. It's Saturday night. I like to check out the live cams, but if you saw the title of the stream tonight, there's been a tornado warning in Colorado, and there was some hail earlier. I was watching some live streamers. The tornado is mainly toward the eastern side of the state, kind of toward Nebraska and Kansas. Here's some video, or here's what it looks like right now. Kind of moving east. This is the Nebraska border right here, Kansas border. I'm right here, Denver. Linda was running some errands earlier, and when she opened up the garage door, it looked like Ghostbusters clouds rolling in. This live streamer was there. His name is Ryan Shaw. This is what it looks like.
6:26 p.m. Mountain Time, though. Should still have a good amount of daylight left here, so. Excuse me, sorry.
So big threatening clouds. There were lots of reports of hail. Hail's big thing in Colorado. There was a girl that was streaming that I just saw for the first time today. Well, you just saw the lightning strike right there. This was her video. And her name is Tornado Pagey. Give her a sub. I still have hail damage on the Jeep. It's not bad. When that just said signal lost, I think that would be the worst part about being, well, maybe not the worst part. That would be a challenging part about being a storm chaser. Terrible reception. What up, Ellie? What up, Miguel? Cats? Turtle Butt? KD? Standby? What up? Paul? Zippy? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of OGs in here. What up, everybody? Happy Saturday. Thank you for tuning in. You can kind of, I don't know, I should turn this up a little bit. You can hear the hail start to hit her car. Pulls over up here and then kind of looks down at the road and you can see it all kind of.
The bigger one on the road.
What up, Cat's Ripple 2, Kazin, GH fan, what up, Tony? Those are big. Those are almost golf ball.
Yeah, I see a really nice one over here, but I'm not getting out right now.
I was in downtown Denver once when it started hailing like this, and I had my skateboard. I ended up putting my skateboard over my head, kind of for protection. It was still getting me sideways, hitting me. It felt like I was standing on a driving range.
It does look like we're at a driving range.
Oh,
right?
she said that. It does. That's about golf ball size.
Ooh, what's that?
Imagine that just hanging up in the sky.
How do I
Chilling,
charge it?
circling that cloud. then falling from what?
Gosh,
He's
just
like
plowing through it.
flipping a golf
Heck
ball out
yeah.
of the flame. And just blink.
Just another day, right? Oh, he stopped too. He must have taken a big one.
That's all this is.
I'm always afraid it's gonna break the tornado in Colorado. So eastern Colorado.
Best thing.
Here's the current map. So this was 7:30. Can you see? Yeah, you can. And it shows this just slowly moving toward Nebraska. This area of Nebraska out here is there's just really not a lot. I used to live in Iowa and I would come straight across Nebraska here over to Iowa. This is one of the most boring drives for me. No turning, not a lot to look at out of each side unless you like bales of hay. It's kind of the only thing going on out there.
You can do is just sit
So
and
this
take
is
it.
at the like 6 hour mark of her video.
What was that?
But she was seeing some pretty gnarly clouds. And this is actually one of the things I love about Colorado. I love severe weather. I love threatening clouds like this. We've been hearing a lot of thunder, ton of lightning. I like that. Loving that Jeremy can stay in the house and talk to us sometimes. Hey, thank you. Thames Theo 308. Thank you. So
Does Dan have a hail shield?
I have a lot of I made a couple tweaks. I'm still trying to dial in all of the right settings, but I think by next week it should be decent. I want to say tonight is still kind of a learning curve night. We'll see how it goes. I have a couple different things I want to watch. One of the things that I was watching earlier, these bears. I've never seen fish jumping out of the water like this. I mean, the bears, they're just standing there buffeting. It was so cool. I just was mesmerized at like the pocket. They can just walk over in here and get whatever they want. It sounds like they're in the shower. So sometimes I'll scroll around. The cam will zoom in, and this is the view that I like. They're just munching. Being very picky. No, not that one. It's kind of like when you're at a buffet in Vegas. You take a bite of something, it's not good enough, you just spit it back out into the napkin. You're like, no, this is the one time I get to be at a buffet. I need to be picky. This bird not threatened at all over here. Bears are stinky. Stay in a long time. That's one of the things they say. They say you'll smell a bear maybe even before you see a bear. Same thing about I think it's like the huge wild boars in Texas. They just stink. And they said if you start to smell something rank and you don't see something, like get some protection. Oh, look at this one out here. It's just like a hot tub with free food. They fall off the waterfall and then they're trying to swim upstream. They're like, no, I'm trying to go this way. Let's see if one of them actually launches up here and like wiggles up. Success rate 0 out of 10 with a poor fish. Do you want me to lower the volume of YouTube and increase shares so we can understand what you're saying? It just sounds like mumble. Does it really? Hold on, let me adjust it. Hold on. Is that better? I just turned it way down. Agree, the mic up some. Are you saying I should turn the mic up or turn the mic down? I just turned it down a little bit. test, test, test. Let me know. That would be the most helpful thing tonight is if you could let me know what the best volumes are, and then I'll just try to make note of it. Best way to set a mic is to turn it all the way up until it limits right before it clicks. Yeah, that's what I have it at right now. I was just trying to play a little bit of the shower. Turn the mic up. Okay, hold on. I've got that up quite a bit. Let me know if you think I should do a little bit more. That's pretty high. Gain needs to go up. Okay. Hello once again, Kepios, what up? YouTube is still loud, so it didn't affect the volume at all. Turn it up so we can hear you better. Is it better if I just if I'm a little bit closer? Your voice seems quiet. Okay, hold on. Let me know if that helped at all. I think that just turned it up. I just started watching Storm Chasers YouTube videos too. Check out these two. So this is Ryan Shaw. Throw him a sub. He's got 29,000 subs. And then Tornado Pagey. She's got 22,000. I bet she got 10,000 of those today. I saw her being really excited that because I think maybe that was one of the more exciting streams she's had, and she had 1,000 people watching. She seemed really stoked. That's a lot of people. Better. Okay. Thank you. I'll turn it up just even a little bit more. Let me see. This was something I was checking out earlier. So this is the live shot. See if you can figure out what's going on here. I was watching this earlier before the mom was in the nest. Actually, I'll just speak up a little bit too. Hopefully that's a little bit better. PX Dave, hi Jeremy Reed and everyone. Hope all is well this evening. What up, Dave? We miss seeing you cruising the streets of LA, Aunt Kelly. I actually loaded up a couple clips from me, some stuff that I recorded when I was there in June. I miss being back in LA sometimes, especially late night with the tacos, but the tornado scene out here is pretty cool too. Where is there a tornado watch in Colorado? Because nothing's been said on Channel 9. So right now, this is where it is. It was kind of here. It was right here in the middle. And now it's kind of floating toward Kansas, Nebraska. This is what we were checking out earlier. This is a streamer that was getting hailed. And this is tornado.
Oh my gosh, those are getting loud.
This is what the Doppler looked like earlier. Very red in this area. So here's the border.
The guys up there just like, dang
here's
it.
Nebraska. So it's kind of just east of Colorado Springs. Rue the She member for 22 months. Thank you so much.
They're
Paul
so
Gatton
dang
member
solid.
for 29 months. Thank you, Paul. So this is Tornado Page. And then this one was Ryan Shaw.
We're gonna go west. And this thing's gonna pull. Oh my! This thing's pulling in crazy inflow right now, dude. Oh my gosh.
Look at
I
his
should plug
radar.
my freaking camera back in. Make sure it's ready to record. Sweet panorama, SQ motion.
I live
movie.
in Denver. Nothing has come through
What
on
movie
Channel
is
9
this?
with the Broncos playing. Yeah, I was watching that too.
I think it's info.
Oh,
should be
it looks like it might.
focus.
Oh no, it's not quite over yet.
Who knows?
23 to 9.
Yeah, tornado
Donkeys
possible on the
ahead.
storm right now. It's cleaning out its influence. It's cleaning out
Zach
its influence.
Stuff,
Everyone
member
try
for
here.
20 months. What up,
It's really
man?
cleaning out its influence
Live
right now
from
as
the
it heads towards us.
motherland. What up, Zach? Good to see you, man. Happy Saturday. Yep, this is the clubhouse. I still don't have it dialed in yet,
Let's
but
tilt for velocity. Tilt 1.
give me another 2
Lowest
weeks.
tilt,
I know I'll
always.
have it dialed in by September, and then run a fun little. I want to do like a little game show type thing, and setting up to have some late nights here. The SM7B is a really boomy mic. You'd probably benefit from a condenser mic,
This thing's really getting ready,
so it'll
dude.
be more bright and high.
This thing is really getting ready.
I have
to
a
do
very
something,
deep
isn't it?
voice, and I still do condensers to brighten it up. That's a good tip. Thank you. Get outdoor. Thank you. It's a good tip. I have 2 of these. I have 2 SM7Bs.
Oh my gosh.
I just haven't dialed in the settings
that was
yet.
At the bottom,
I know
is
that I
not there
can
anymore.
get it to
but
sound way better.
I mean, this thing
It was
just
just
cleaned out its
it was a
inflow,
huge
so I'm a
success
little
getting all of this stuff to work together. I've
wondering
been
what's
having
gonna
some
happen
power
here.
issues in this office. There's so many things going into a couple outlets in this room, and I was just
We're in the perfect
flipping
spot if
the
anything
fuse
happens, so.
for nothing. And so just having everything lit up in here, all the lights, it feels good just to kind of have it where I am right now. But I do have a lot of work to do next week, taking it apart and just kind of dial. Oh, so what I was saying with this nest, I was watching this earlier. When I was watching it earlier, the mom wasn't in here. It was just this. Let me turn this one up. These little squirrel babies have been like kicking around in here. This is earlier with the the mom. I thought she was sleeping, but she's not sleeping. She's feeding. I don't know if anybody remembers when I was telling that story about how LEE, I can barely understand when YouTube sound is on. It's so loud. Okay, should I turn it down? Let me see. How about that? You can barely understand when YouTube sound is on. It's so loud. Okay. Hold on. Let me know if that helps. Ellie, let me know if that sounds any better. Are tornadoes a thing in Colorado? It must be rare, no? Not super common, but not rare either. A few a season for sure. I lived in California for 20 years. There was just kind of there'd be a rainy season and like a muggy, overcast season, but in Colorado, you definitely know when it's winter. You definitely know when it's spring. Then it turns into summer. And last summer, they had some really hot days in August. And then sometimes at night, it'll be cold. There's still snow in the mountains. The tops of the mountains are snow-capped still. When the cold hits the warm, they swirl around each other and start a tornado. I don't think we're really in Tornado Alley. That's more like Midwest, Iowa, Texas, that strip right there. I don't think I worried about it in Minnesota as much. Iowa, I was always having tornado drills in all the elementary school that I went to, middle school, getting under the desk, going into the lower area of the school, like the basement, the boiler room area. Scary. That's Freddy Krueger area down there. So yeah, sometimes on these this is a live cam that's been going on since August 3rd. You can scroll all the way back on this one, back to 12 hours. Look at the mom lounged out. I can't believe how white she is underneath. What I was going to say is these look like the teddy bear hamsters that I used to have. The sound is great for me, not loud as I prefer. Okay, great. Is that better? I'm having no problem with the audio. Okay, great. Oh, that's so good. Thank you. She passed out. I don't know. There's definitely some shots of her with her eyes closed. Hold on. see what some of the live stuff looks like. There's one of her. You can kind of see that she's not sleeping. These look like rowdy babies. Like, that looks annoying. My sister and I both used to have hamsters, teddy bear hamsters. They're about this big, like size of an old fun size Snickers, like 80s Snickers, the Halloween Snickers. And I had a boy hamster. She had a girl hamster. We put them together. The girl hamster got pregnant. When the girl hamster had the babies, we put them in the tub so that, she couldn't get out. She had a lot of room to run around. She had the babies. My sister and I were there with our disposable cameras. Click, turn, click, turn. Just a couple pictures at a time. We're going in and out of the bathroom. I hear my sister scream. We run in there, and there's blood in the bathtub. The mom started eating the babies. They were small. They were freshly born within 5 or 10 minutes. She just started munching on the babies. It was crazy. And then as we read up, back then you didn't have the internet. You just had to go to the pet store and buy the little book and hope that it had the information you needed. And they were like, yeah, that's a normal thing. Sometimes the mom just, for whatever reason, starts to eat the babies. They probably knew the reason. I don't remember the reason. But we saved a couple. But yeah, I had to learn the hard way about what happens in nature. I thought the mom was going to be doing what this mom's doing. Like, oh, look at you. You look just like your dad. No. She's like, you look just like a snack. Look at the babies down here. Little squirrel foot. I think squirrel feet, ears, and hands are really cute. Little skateboard hoof right here. I was checking this out earlier. Big wave surfing, people getting towed out by the jet skis. Props to these dudes on the jet skis. If you got dumped and that thing fell on you, the jet ski just pile drove you, that would be a bad day. And these jet ski dudes are pretty high on the waves. They know how to come in from the side, leave from the side, but still. Look at that. What if it just puts you right into the rock over here? Like, it wants to curl you into the rock, and you know that rock is sharp. So it'll either like pile drive you down into the coral and cut you up, maybe even put you in like a little hole down there, and then maybe just throw you against the rocks on the shore too. You want to stay out here. Looks like Portugal. This says, welcome to Nazari, home of massive waves. Nazari, Portugal. It is Portugal. Good call. Look at that shape. Wow, that's perfect. Whoa, whoa, and then that dude took it. He just grabbed the back. Your brother has a hamster, small or big? I hope that this isn't become the new normal, Jeremy. What up, Bob Northen? I'm trying to set up at least a new lane so that if there's a time that I can't get out, if there's a time that I'm not doing field trips, I have it. Because this is what I'm doing at night. I'm sitting in my office, I'm editing a little bit, working on music. Sometimes I do want to stream and maybe be on for an hour or two. And for the people that want to watch what I'm watching, at night I watch a lot of just weird, random stuff. It's so many different things. And so, yeah, when I'm at home and I feel like lighting up the chat, I'm going to light it up just to have everybody have a clubhouse that they can all meet up, see each other. A lot of people connect through this chat that wouldn't normally know how to communicate with one another. They're not friends on MySpace or Friendster or Asian Avenue. What's the J date? I'm trying to think of the old ones. They need to bring, I think they tried to bring MySpace back and it didn't work, but that was so cool. The way you could have different music tracks on MySpace and have different songs, the new stuff that you were listening to. I would go to my friends' pages that I knew had good taste in music and just hear what their like new stuff, basically what was like new on their playlist that week. People were always updating it on MySpace. I missed that. These other social platforms don't have that. Some people share things through Spotify, but not enough. No buffering, that's a plus too. I still have there's a way for me to do stream bonding where I have a T-Mobile connection, a Verizon connection, Xfinity in LA. Sometimes I needed AT&T. You have all of those going at once. You pay for a service that does stream bonding and it basically takes all of the different streams, puts them into one and gives you the best one. It's always fluctuating around. It's pretty cool. It's a little expensive. It doesn't always work. When I'm paying for something that's expensive like that, I want it to work well all the time, and it just works most of the time. But yeah, I also drive fast. When I'm in LA, I drive really fast, and so I'm just always switching from one cell tower to another. It's always handing off. Here's what it looks like in Huntington Beach right now. Looks like a nice night. US Open of surfing. I've been to a couple of those at Huntington. Like right back in here toward the beach back here. They have all these tents set up. They build a skateboard park and it's pretty cool to go down there for the day. It's really hard to find parking. The, the main parking when you go to Huntington Beach is kind of on PCH there, just on the between the road and the water. That's filled all the way down, all the way north, all the way south. It's kind of better to maybe park further away and then Uber in. But it's fun. Huntington Beach is fun. There's a lot of bros, a lot of skater dudes, a lot of surfers. It's a vibe down there, though. This is Venice Beach right now. 95% humidity. Just say 67 degrees. I like this area. If anybody plays GTA, the video game, they recreated this in the video game and it looks just like this in the video game. I've heard people say, I feel like I've already been here because I've played this in the game so much. It's incredibly similar. Look at this dude. Oh, I was hoping they'd stop with him in the corner right there. They're matching. God is life. With the matching shirts. What is in here? A pet or a human? I can't tell. Kind of looks like a dog. What do you guys think? Is that a baby or is that a pet? I think it's a puppy. Live cam on Maui is so cool to watch. 707 Humboldt, what up? I like to see the LED bikes when they're having like a LED bike meetup out here. This is a cool cam to watch. This is Earth Cam. This is Waikiki. $84. This is very comfortable temperatured water. It's like bath water. Michelle H, what up? Cassie, Venice Beach, woohoo. I was there last summer in July doing a photo shoot with Old Navy. Nice. I've seen a lot of different commercial shoots happen out there, especially on the basketball courts. I think the basketball courts there where they filmed White Men Can't Jump, ton of commercials. I saw a Snoop Dogg video being shot there once with a bunch of lowriders out on the basketball court. I didn't live too far away from Venice Beach, so I'd go there, try to shoot B-roll, try to film. And so many times people would roll up on me and ask me if I had a permit, because so many people go out there to try to film different things. The city wants you to file it and get paid. People will run you out. Just shooting regular like news B-roll, people were like running me out. You can't do that here. You need to have the proper paperwork. That's what was cool. I moved down south for a little bit. I lived in Carlsbad all the way to La Jolla, San Diego, that area right there. So chill with their rules. I would drone down there all the time. They were just very laid back, almost too laid back. And the Coast Guard flies super low. It's between Camp Pendleton and La Jolla, or like Camp Pendleton and Encinitas, like that area in there. And then I really like camping at San Onofre and then surfing San Onofre. The water is a little bit toxic, but that's some of the best surfing. What up, Joe's Lawn and Snow? Ellie, how's the sound now? Is that a good sweet spot, or should I move it up or down a little bit? Okay, I want to watch something. So this is a guy that I'm fascinated with, Edward Leeds Scallon. He had this thing called Coral Castle. Here's a little bit of the backstory.
This is Coral Castle. A site that leaves a lot more questions than it provides answers.
Small little place in Florida. Let me know.
The site was.
Let me know in the chat if you've ever been here. It doesn't look that big. It's a little spot in Florida, but it's got really cool lore.
Constructed by Latvian immigrant Edward Leeds Scallon, who supposedly built the site as an ode to a spurned lover from his hometown of Riga in Latvia, but even that is shrouded in inconsistencies and debate. What we do know is that the 1,000-ton.
So he moved from Latvia. You can see here that this is like coral that was in the ocean, super heavy. You can see all the pock marks from all the coral. This stuff is heavy. It's very dense.
Structure was built over the course of 28 years and was made by hand at night by Leeds Scallon himself. When asked how he did it, he only said that it's not difficult if you know how, and also that he had discovered the secrets of the pyramids. What these secrets are, however, is known to nobody except Leeds Scallon himself.
So he only worked at night so that people couldn't see what he was doing. And he had told people at the time that he discovered the secrets of the pyramids, how they were moving the huge rocks. And a couple people speculated that he had just kind of figured out pulley system, really high-tech pulley system. But I'll let you hear a little bit more.
This paragraph from a Detector.com article details his process, saying, the only eyewitness sighting of him working include 2 teenagers who said the blocks seemed to float like helium balloons. Others saw the equipment he used, which included a tripod of logs and rope to lift the blocks. It was said they didn't think the logs or rope would be anywhere near close to strong enough to lift the blocks. One thing that was unusual about his setup, at the top of the tripod was a small black box which leads.
So that was the other thing. He didn't want people to know what was in this tiny black box at the top of the tripod that looked like a pulley.
Scotland claimed was a perpetual motion holder. It's important to note that while the existence of a perpetual motion holder would help explain how the castle was built, it would simultaneously destroy any understanding we have about the laws of thermodynamics and the conservation of energy, so this explanation is unlikely to say the least. Nonetheless, Leedskalnin was able to manipulate Coral Castle, which is actually made up of oolite limestone.
So he built it one time, and then for whatever reason, I don't remember the reason, he decided to move. He moved these incredibly heavy structures to this other site, all at night, all trying to get people to not see what he was doing. And I think the only hint that he gave was that the reason that that was possible was because of the location being near the equator, because of the polarity and the magnetism of the Earth. He said that it needed to be close to the equator. That's what I remember. Felzu, you should check out Bishop Castle in Colorado. Definitely. I'll talk about Bishop Castle here in a little bit. I haven't been there since it's been finished. I was there when it was kind of semi getting built. But yeah, the guy was not the best house guest.
Relatively easily,
I'll tell
even
you
going
the
so
story.
far as to move the entire castle 10 miles north from its original location in
Felzy,
Florida
thank you
City
so much.
to where it lies now. But even this comes under mysterious circumstances.
He hired a local truck owner, and with character
CF, greetings from the middle of the world, Ecuador. What up, CF? Zach Stuff, what up? Sean 707. Shannon's in here. What up, Shannon? Channel Static, Zippy.
secrecy, politely asked the man to step around the corner. The truck would be loaded in just a minute.
That was another thing too. Sometimes he would hire different people to do things, but he wouldn't let them see certain pieces of it. And so this story was that a guy was coming to load it on the truck, and he said, just give him a second. He would have the stones moved up there.
Around the corner. The truck would be loaded in just a minute.
It's like an 80s recreation.
Piece by piece, Ed moved all 3 million pounds of rock 10 miles
3
to its
million
present
pounds.
location near Homestead, Florida.
He moved 3 million pounds of rock over a mile.
As usual, no one ever managed to see how he lifted the giant rocks, which weighed up to 30 tons apiece.
It sounds like Leonard Nimoy doing the narration.
So yeah, needless to say, there are still some questions surrounding Leedskalnin's methods, and none of the potential solutions make complete sense. Obviously, the most likely scenario is that he built the castle manually over the course of the 28 years, but even this theory begins to crumble when considering the fact that the vast majority of the castle was constructed in just under 10 years, which would have been a nearly...
And so this is what he had different versions of this. Huge tripod. And then nobody knew what was in this box up here. They didn't know if it was some element. To me, it kind of looks like maybe that's where his main pulley was, but I don't know.
Impossible time frame for the 100-pound tuberculosis survivor. So then we go back to the potential of a solution that we don't have the ability to easily understand, which of course is unlikely on its face, but it also just doesn't really make sense considering Leedskalnin himself. You see, the man wanted recognition and fame. He even ambitiously titled a moral education book he wrote, A Book in Every Home, showing just how widespread he believed his ideas and thoughts deserved to be. So, entertaining the idea that he did have a perpetual motion device or something.
I have 2 of his books behind me. They're both tiny. I mean, they're like 30, 40 pages. They're not like huge books. They're very tiny.
something similar, why didn't he share it or profit off it? Well, in Jack Heffron and Rusty McClure's book Coral Castle, The Mystery of Edward Leeds Skolnin and His American Stonehenge, they propose an intriguing explanation, saying, there are those who...
How is this for the audio on the YouTube? Sorry, YouTube audio is really loud in my earbuds. Okay, I just turned it down a little bit. Michelle, let me know how this is now.
believe that Ed was targeted for suspicion by the US government because of a patent he had applied for in the 1930s. Conspiracy theorists believe that the perpetual motion generator, which could supply the world with free energy, would have undermined
Lullaby,
the
what
utility
up?
of oil companies, and for that reason the patent was not granted. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for entertaining conspiracy theories where the culprit is oil and gas companies trying to protect.
Lala B303 is in here. Did you see earlier that? So this is the radar of the storm that passed through. But there was a it's starting up again here in Colorado Springs. See, look at this. There was a tornado warning earlier. It kind of was starting here and then creeping up here. But wow, this just kicked up not too long ago. Wait, let's see what time that is. So 9:50 right now. So right now it's going down right here. But everything's moving east.
Protect their profits, but for this one the timeline just doesn't really make sense to me.
I'm trying to stop the video, skip around a little bit, add some audio. What we did last night, we did a little test on the stream. It did get a copyright strike. As soon as the stream was over, boom, it said copyright restriction. So I'm trying to be a little bit more creative with the starting and stopping. I think it helps. We'll see.
Leeds Skolnin applied for a patent in the 1930s, whereas Coral Castle wasn't completed until 1951, meaning there was at least 12 years that the US government was aware of this supposed perpetual motion device, but continued letting him build his castle in relative obscurity, even though if news got out at any point, it would immediately make international headlines. It doesn't make any sense. So what does make sense? I think I have to lean towards the most plausible explanation being years and years of manual labor, but even then, we really need to remember Leeds Skolnin's size. He's about the same height and weight as the average 11-year-old boy in America today.
The same height and weight as the average 11-year-old boy in America.
So even that explanation
He was like a sickly 100-pound dude.
beggars belief a little bit. Not to mention there was this section in this documentary from the 1960s that shows the difficulty, even with the modern technology of that time, to manipulate such massive rocks.
Then the test, using a 600 horsepower crane.
You tell me, does this sound like Spock being the narrator? It sounds like Leonard Nimoy to me.
Could they lift the rock?
It couldn't be done.
Charles Veloy's comments.
Not with a modern cut. I wouldn't cut more than 4 foot long and 32 inches wide and 7 or 8 foot long. That's the most I'll cut. And you see the struggle I have getting it out with that machine.
In researching this video, I was really hoping I would get to a solution that makes the most sense and is completely airtight. And while I do still think I have to err on the side of it was just years and years of manual labor, again, the size of an 11-year-old boy, I mean, that is insane. The rock he was manipulating was massive. I think the biggest piece in Coral Castle was twice as big as any piece that was used to construct.
So we're going to look at a different video. This dude got invited to go. And so this is his video of him walking around in there. And to see the actual size of these rocks, one of them, as you go into Coral Castle, is just a huge, like, rectangle piece with a pivot right in the middle, and then it turns on that middle pivot. So just a big turning rock that they said moves effortlessly, and then it's cut. It's perfectly, it moves as soon as it moves into a position where it's lined up. You can't even put like a piece of paper through it. It's just perfect. And that was at the first location. And then it was also at the second location that he moved it. They say 100 miles? Or it was a mile. I think a mile. He moved I think they said he moved 3 million pounds of rock a mile. Okay, this is the video of the dude like walking around. It's not a huge place, but I don't know if anybody here has ever been to Iowa. They have a thing there called the Botanical Gardens, and they have this kind of coral that they made bridges across some of the areas, like the koi pond areas and stuff. It is thick, thick, thick rock. Very heavy.
So he would use what was called dowsing rods. Dowsing rods are simple tools, traditionally made from metal or wood, used for centuries in the practice of dowsing. This is a method believed to detect underground water, mineral.
My grandparents have a piece of land in Iowa, and they bought it cheap, probably in the 70s or 80s. They wanted to see if they could strike water and get well water. And so they paid, I think it was like $2,700 or something, to have somebody come out and drill down to see if they could strike water. They ended up paying all this money and they didn't get water. And because of that, they weren't able to build on the piece of property. So they just ended up using it for like hay and different farm equipment storage, things like that. It has a beautiful creek that runs through it. But one of the things that they were being told was like, you should get somebody to come out with dowsing rods and look around and see where they should drill. This was a real thing. This is like a lot of people believe in
Minerals or other hidden substances. The rods, usually L-shaped, are held loosely in both hands, and practitioners claim they move or cross when they encounter the desired object.
So you're walking with them straight, and then when they cross, same thing. When I was in New Orleans in January, we went, I think the ladies' tour was called Bloody Mary's Haunted House Tour. She took us to this place where some murders had happened. She said that the house was still haunted. She told us the names of the different people that she said were haunting the building. And so my friend Dave and I, we both had the two rods. We would ask different questions, and she was like, don't hold it kind of loose in your hand, but don't turn them at all. So we'd hold them and we'd ask different questions and they would cross. It was pretty creepy. Like, I'm usually the person that's moving it when you play with the Ouija board. I'm the one that's like moving it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I felt it move. I'm usually that person. But with these rods, I was not moving that at all. I was just holding them straight. And then just out of nowhere, without you doing anything, they would cross. And then they would uncross. It was crazy. Bloody Mary's haunted house tour, New Orleans.
Folklore and mysticism, with some attributing the rod's movement to subtle energy fields or intuition. He dug this out. This guy was...
Grant says it works. I'm in construction and have used it to find water lines underground. See, that's what I heard. And that's, my grandparents were desperate to find where on the property they needed to drill, because you're going to have that big piece of equipment, that big drill come out. You need to know where. And so, they took a risk, and the people were advising them, you should have gotten people to come out with the dowsing rods. James, not a scam. My family found water in their rural land twice with dowsing rods when I was a kid. Drilled a well in both spots. Still have water to this day. One is feeding my current home. That is awesome. See, some of this unexplained stuff, it's just so interesting to me. There was a guy, his name was James Randi. I think his name's James Randi. Look it up. He used to have a $1 million challenge. Yeah, this guy. James Randi. He said, I'll give $1 million to anybody that can prove that they have like psychic ability or any kind of magic. And he would invite all of these people you know, a magician basically is doing something that people can't, they don't know what he's doing, and he's taking advantage of that. So he's a lot of magicians are just illusionists. He was saying, I think a lot of the stuff that goes on, 99.9% is illusionist. I don't think it's people having actual magic powers. And he's like, but if you do have magic power and you can prove it, I'll give you $1 million. And he died without giving that $1 million out. I used to watch some of the people trying to do it. That's how I came across him. I think he did a Google talk. That was the first thing that I saw of his. It was like an hour Google talk. But he was just talking about like the people that would go on Jay Leno and these different talk shows, Donahue, and claim that they could do something. He would say no. They're just skilled at some form of illusion. And yeah, he had a lot of people that were saying, okay, we know how to do the dowsing rod thing. And then I don't remember the test that he did. Look it up for yourself and watch it. But he did have water in these different places. And then he had the people with the dowsing rods come out. They did not claim the $1 million. They couldn't claim that they claimed that they could do it. And then they didn't successfully do it. So yeah, he died without giving that money away. Check him out sometime.
5 foot tall, 100 pounds, and had tuberculosis. And he dug this out. Like, look at the size of this hole. This is insane.
This is where he would bathe. He would come down, and you could either go underneath or you could climb over. That's why the rock is.
That's where he would bathe.
And you're in like your own private bathtub in there. Where the well drops down is directly overhead. That's the sun, and it lights it up.
Where the well drops down, that was his bathtub right there.
But Hurricane Andrew in the 1990s blew through that area of Florida. But it didn't destroy Ed's castle. It was the only thing in Homestead that didn't blow away. The National Guard comes in, and they set up base around Ed's castle. In the middle of the castle with this divining rod that you were talking about, Ed carves down through coral rock that's underneath the castle. Gets all the way to a spring. Now, how do you know the spring was there? Divining rod, fresh water in South Florida, that's like gold, right? And he found it. He built steps. He carved steps, and it goes all the way down to this day. You can see where the water is, and the steps go way down.
Homestead is just below Miami. Yep. Have you ever been there?
And
Has anybody in the chat ever been there? Jeremy, much respect. Coral Castle and Ed, James Randi had intelligence connections, and it was not necessarily an honest man. Who knows? Coral Castle is still, yeah. This is one of the things that I really like. When I was in Barcelona, I got to visit Chateau de Fleury, I think it's called, and it was really cool to see that the way that they built it was in reverse. So he hung sandbags, and then further here, let me see if I can find a picture of it. I took a picture when I was there, but let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
Guy with a third grade education from Riga, Latvia, is building an electrical power plant that he cranks by hand. Florida National Guard has got this communications center, and it's radio, and they're getting this frequency interruption to the radio. So they get a diver, outfits himself, goes down into that well, and finds a cave underwater, and finds, so the story is, so the dudes that told me, no verification, that there is a black box. They find a black box.
The black box at Coral Castle. Now, this thing is a mystery. It's seen mounted on top of the tripod-like structure.
Okay, I had it completely wrong. Sagrada Familia. So this church, I think he started it, I want to say early 1900s, knowing that it wouldn't be completed in his lifetime. And when I took a tour of the building, hold on. it showed. It showed that he went to Northern California and he was looking at the sequoia trees, and he saw that the base of the tree was like this. It came up at an arc. And because of that, it was more fortified than like the columns that they had in Greece and a lot of different structures that were just built with a horizontal or with a vertical column. He was saying having that thing that runs up into it, as time goes on, it just fortifies it and packs it in. And that's why some of those redwood trees are just so like a force of nature. You can't really, it's not swaying in the wind because it's just very strong. It was one of the most beautiful. I'm really into architecture, and look at how much these are the tops of the buildings here. Look at how much is jetting up above all that. It's incredible. When you go in, there's the most beautiful stained glass. Like this. And then we took a tour into the basement, and I guess the architect was really into furniture making, so it had some of his old furniture that he had made. Zach Stuff, thank you so much for the gifted membership. And Grant Meeker got it. Yes. Zach, thank you for doing that, bro. Congrats to Grant. Grant, Zach just unlocked a bunch of content for you. Thank you so much for doing that, man. Have you been in here? Oh, you have. This is the turquoise one for you. So you've been a member before. Maybe you've already seen this stuff. I actually, here, I'll play a video. I have the picture of the sandbag thing I'm trying to find in my phone. Yeah, I know where that picture is. Hold on, I'll find it. Watch a little of this while I find it.
And it's believed to have played a key role in Ed's ability to move massive stones. Some speculated it involved magnetic or electrical forces, and there are reports that he may have used cones in combination with this device. This mysterious setup bears similarities to boxes and tools depicted in ancient civilizations such as Egypt or Mesopotamia,
Hold on, I'll be right
which are
back.
thought to harness lost technologies for energy manipulation or construction. And with today's technology, it's interesting because we're beginning to take advantage of the sonic levitation principles ourselves. I'll demonstrate. All right, so this is a little setup that we put together that uses sound waves to make things float. It's called an acoustic levitation device. It works by blasting sound waves at a specific frequency that create pressure points in the air. These points can hold up small objects, like these lightweight bits I'm about to show you. So when you push these sound waves together in just the right way, they create areas where the air pressure...
So if you want to know what I'm doing late night, any weekday, super late before I go to bed, this is the kind of stuff that I'm really watching. I'm watching frequency, the way that things, like the way that different frequencies look under sand and vibration, and then the way that different vibrations make things levitate. I think that's so cool.
That it counteracts gravity, creating a standing wave and keeping these objects.
I think Ellie has one of these little water levitating things.
Suspended midair. Now this works for small objects and lightweight stuff. The sound waves can handle that. But if you're wondering whether this could make like a car or a couch or even a giant stone float with sound, that's where things get tricky. The amount of sound power you'd need to lift something heavy would be so
The redwoods
intense.
are beautiful too.
Like
Yeah, the redwoods are.
Earthquake. I mean,
The redwoods are so large that they can have. There's a tunnel in one of them as you're driving through, and you can drive a car through it. There's a picture of a VW in front of it, and it looks like you could have 3 VWs parked next to each other. That's like the width of these redwoods. It's incredible.
Possible in theory, but in practice, the
Those redwoods have been around since dinosaurs. It's pretty cool.
sound would just be way too loud. It would be damaging. Everything has meaning. A lot of the meaning that this park holds eludes us to this day. We don't know. Like, there are symbols here that you might see throughout like Masonic symbolism, like the Freemasons. There's like this 6-pointed star, and it's in this well over here. It's in all these different places. That shows up. There's also interplanetary symbols, larger than life, maybe
This is when I was there in 2010. 15 years ago, you can see like how much they have or haven't finished. Hold on, I'm looking for the picture of the sandbags.
Extraterrestrial vibe about this place, and that's just part of the mystery. It's like so many different things. It's really hard to pinpoint any answers, and I think that's why, you know, it's such a special place. These are all chairs that he built. He built these chairs for the children, but that big one.
Okay, so this is what I was talking about with the sandbags. He was hanging the sandbags upside down, like looked like tea bags, and then when you put a mirror underneath, it looked like that structure that I just showed, the big church. So he did it in reverse. And the reasoning behind that was that he said that over time, it would just compact and get stronger and stronger and more fortified until it was basically like a mountain, like a piece of the earth. And that's what this reminds me of too. It's like these stones, over time, they just become stronger. Yeah, it's incredible to me. He was also some of the structures that he had there in Barcelona looked like, here, let me see. Because he had a bunch of sculptures. Here's one of his sculptures. This is him making that sculpture that I just showed. His name is Antoni Gaudi. Gaudi, I think. And the underground part of the church was just all his like workshop stuff. It was really cool. Here, I'll find it. Hold on. I want to show you. There's one that's he was a fan of Dolly, and so it was like a stone walkway that was curved like a wave, and as you look down, it turned. And he was like, "I want this to feel like you're in a wave," and it did. Like it felt like you were in the tube of a big wave, like a surfer.
The big uncomfortable one, that was for his mother-in-law. And that's real. It's short in distance where your butt rests. It's straight up. It's not comfortable at all. All these other chairs would rock, by the way, back in the day. Maybe not anymore, but they would all rock, except that one. So, and then obviously Edward's throne was here. That was where he would sit. I don't know why he would be sitting up there, but you know, this is the kind of person he is, a mysterious guy.
Do you ever think we'll live to see the day where the secrets are uncovered?
I think we will. I think we're getting very, very close to those days. That time period is coming. We're the people now in this era that are supposed to really unfold the information, unfold the knowledge, break through, and begin to take our energies and put it into experiments based on what we've witnessed and seen here, collecting the data from places like the Coral Castle.
A lot of the things that I like to watch are the people that are asking AI about some of these conspiracy theories. Was this a real thing? Was this just being confused with something else? And the AI is like, the answers that the AI gives, very interesting.
And then reproducing those in laboratories.
Now, next up on the tour, they had us do something called energy testing.
Do the energy testing with anybody because it's you have to be bigger than your ego to understand what I'm talking about.
Okay, I found it. So this is the tunnel that I was trying to describe. He wanted it to look like a wave, and that's all stone. Like this is all limestone. So he was really into mosaic art. It's all over that church. I think his backstory was that he was in love with a girl, and he like poured his heart out to her and proclaimed that he loved her, and she didn't love him back. She married somebody else, and so he vowed to never get married and throw himself into the art and the work. I think that's his story. Don't hold me to that. I think that's what's going on. And then this, they said this was inspired, or he was looking at the the Salvador Dali paintings with the elephants with the huge feet. And so these were the different columns that he had. And again, that's all limestone. So beautiful to see in person. Look like this. And this is what it looked like from a distance. And we did a tour. We did like a bus tour where they drove us all around and showed us all of these different places that he had built over his lifetime. And they said that some of the richer people of that era almost like imprisoned him into the different projects. Like, no, you need to make this for us. And you need to make this specifically for somebody that's rich. And so he had a lot of work and he didn't want to do all the work. That's what I think I remember him. I think that's what the tour guide was saying.
Have I done the energy testing with you?
Yes, but it didn't work.
It didn't work for you?
I'm here for the energy.
Okay,
100%.
So right now, you're going to take your strongest arm, you're going to take this, you're going to put it down to the side of his arm, and you're going to resist.
Okay.
So hold your breath, evenly, go ahead, go.
And this was inside. Hold on. This was like, so the whole outside of the church are these carvings, and it's like different scenes, but it's so intricate. And it's taken over 100 years to even get as far as they've gotten. He knew in making it that he would never even see it close to completion in his lifetime. I think he didn't even see it 50% done in his lifetime. So I thought that was really cool too. He took on a project that he knew that he wouldn't see ever be finished.
You to know what it takes to prevent it.
Understood.
If you're really not trying, I'm going to be mad at you.
I have tried.
Mama Hill, I used to play accordion. Does that count? I think Mama Hill said that she had a saxophone that she would loan me. I still want that. Papa Sticky, good evening. Jeremy Stickman, what up? 707, grandfather's tree is the oldest in Humboldt, 260 feet tall, 1,800 years old. Wow. Humboldt's such a cool area. That whole Emerald Triangle area is so dope. Mama Hill, if you like music, you'll love Sax Squatch. That is such a good idea. Turtle butt, that's a good idea. Here, I'll pull up a little bit. I'll show a little bit of that. I've seen Shannon Hansen in there, and I've seen Turtle Butt in there. Okay, so this is the video right here, or this is the channel, Sax Squatch. It's live right now. There's 7 watching. It's live because it's a looped live. But if you see the chat over here, sometimes you'll catch Shannon Hansen and Turtle Butt in here. Let me see if they're in here. No.
Going to Columbus, Ohio, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Detroit, Indianapolis, Livingston, Kentucky, Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Des Moines, Peoria, Kansas City, Chattanooga, Greenville, South Carolina.
Yeah, so it turns
Atlanta,
into
Charleston, South Carolina.
kind of like an infomercial for his tour dates, where he's going to show up next. But yeah, sometimes you'll find me in the chat. I don't want to play anymore because it'll probably get a copyright strike. But yeah, he's dope. The visuals are 8 out of 10. That's your neighbor. I have to stop it because I don't want it. Here, hold on. I'm going to flip it. Here, I'm going to flip it upside down. No, I won't. I see Mama Hill and Shannon both in the chat. They're in the Sax chat. Here, hold on. I'll throw up the link to this.
put this here, and now you're gonna do the same thing.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
You're gonna put your arms up, and you're not gonna let her put your arm down to your side.
Okay.
Go ahead. Okay, stop.
Yeah, I didn't feel the difference.
Okay, there's a marked difference.
Yeah.
So don't think of her, think of Ed. Ed is the one who put this together. Okay,
her,
go
like,
ahead,
I'm
try.
gonna first-
Are you doing it, Art? Try with 2 hands. Okay, stop. Okay, go ahead. Try again. Go ahead, try to resist.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to put this in the chat.
Okay, go ahead. Try again. Go ahead, try to resist.
See if I can pop out the chat too.
I'm not looking. I'm not looking. Okay, what happened? You feel it inside. It's not.
Yeah.
It's Ed. So this is you're being affected by positive and negative. This is not the only spot that does it.
I guess they forgot the part about me being a professional magician for most of my life. This pseudoscience / magic trick is known as applied kinesiology.
And so the first time I ever heard about this was there was a friend of mine that somebody was trying to give him one of those bracelets that was supposed to be like a balance bracelet. And they put the bracelet on him and they're like, try to move your arms down. This is like something that happens in the mall. Let me know in the chat if you've ever been in the mall and someone goes, hey, do you have a second? I want to show you something. They put this bracelet on you. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try to pull it up and see if it's like debunked on YouTube. Yeah, I'll find it. Hold on.
I just want to show you energy testing and how really simple it is.
We'll call it AK for short. AK is like the illusion of science.
Spleen, stomach, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, intestines. You go in priority.
One from Shaq to Kobe to Drew Brees was wearing in 2010. They were called power balance bracelets, and they promised to improve your balance, strength, and flexibility, but it turns out that wearing one wasn't any more beneficial than wearing a rubber band. And they were able to grow the business to sell a staggering $35 million worth of bracelets in 2010. But then in January of 2011, it all came crumbling down. It started when Australian regulators forced the company to admit, quote, there's no credible scientific evidence that supports our claim.
And that's what I learned. I knew a couple people that swore by this. Oh, it makes me feel so much better. And I'm like, okay, so does like a placebo. But then they got in trouble. They made so much money. And then it was almost like in elementary school when half the kids believed in Santa Claus and the other half didn't. And the ones that really believed in it were just so like steadfast. People really thought that these worked. And then there were people like me that were just like, you haven't seen the videos of the people that sell these, like admitting that it's a sham.
Here in America, there was an onslaught of class action lawsuits filed against the company, including one that TMZ reported was settled for over $57 million. But that didn't stop them from still trying to sell bracelets.
That was just Drew Brees. Something funny about that is he's the spokesperson at the pickleball place here in Denver that I play at. So Drew Brees is doing all these like pickleball commercials,
the company, including one that TMZ reported was settled for over $57 million.
I see Drew Brees in my feed all the time for Pickler. He's one of the spokespeople doing the commercials. He's been at the place that Linda and I play pickleball. He's a pickleball guy now.
But that didn't stop them from still trying to sell bracelets. However, given all the negative press, their sales dropped dramatically. But with just $10 million in assets, the company was once again forced to file for bankruptcy. Now, as of today, the company is still selling bracelets for $30. But I think at the end of the day, I have to agree with Mark Cuban on this one.
It was a scam when they were on Shark Tank. Still a scam. It's going where it belongs.
We all
He threw him away.
Mode.
Imagine you're standing there, arm outstretched.
So this is what
I
we're
guess they
watching.
forgot the part about me being a professional magician for most of my life. This pseudoscience / magic trick is known as applied kinesiology.
I just want to show you energy testing and how really simple it is.
We'll call it AK for short. AK is like the illusion of science.
Spleen, stomach, liver.
Angelo Power Balance sponsored the old Sacramento Kings Arena back in the day. I didn't know that. That's crazy. One of my good friends is the video guy for the Sacramento Kings. He's been doing that for over a decade. And he's at every home game. He does all of the like interviews and the halftime shows. So he's sitting up in the main booth with all of the different TV screens and saying, go to the cheerleaders, go to the bench, go to the person that's doing the backwards half court shot. He's that dude.
Gallbladder, pancreas, intestines. You go in priority mode.
Imagine you're standing there, arm outstretched, and a practitioner presses down to test your muscle strength. Based on whether your arm resists or gives way, they claim to diagnose anything from food sensitivities to organ imbalances, or in this case, where it was debunked by James Randi, the sudden strength given to you from holding a crystal.
Yeah. No, can you feel the difference? I mean, I can feel it, but you can feel Bridget.
Ladies and gentlemen, and Susie and Fiona.
And there's James
what she
Randi.
shows as the crystal is actually...
That's the guy that we were talking about, James Randi. I wasn't trying to make him sound like he was some like super cool guy. But it was just very interesting, this challenge that he had, $1 million challenge. If anybody could prove that they had psychic ability, magic talent, and nobody ever claimed that money.
Rat poison.
All I can say is that rat poison must be good for Fiona.
God, I shall take some every day then.
This sounds interesting until you realize that the real trick isn't in your muscles, but in how they're pushing.
I'm just going to go up like this. I don't have to touch you at all. I'm going to use one finger. I really tried.
Here's where the illusion comes in. You see, the direction and the force of the push can easily manipulate the outcome. If they push straight down, you could pretty well resist the force. But if the same force is applied inwards, suddenly it might seem like you've lost your strength. But that's not because your body's health has miraculously declined in a split second.
I really tried.
It's simple biomechanics. The angle of the force changes the mechanical advantage, not your nutritional need.
I love searching anything that I like searching that thing and then putting debunked after and watching all the people that debunk things. I used to be a really big fan of Ancient Aliens, and there's a video called Ancient Aliens Debunked. I'm going to find it and show it to you just in case anybody wants to see it.
The whole thing feels a bit like a parlor trick dressed up as a diagnostic tool. And much like any well-done illusion, it's easy to believe when you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Is there any world where we can go upstairs? Is that possible?
We can ask. To visit, and they rang.
So this is the... I'll show you. Chris White Archives, Ancient Aliens Debunked, full movie.
A number of
What's crazy
stonemasons
is
were using some of the most basic tools, even for their time. If you would like to learn more about the details of this, I think there's at least one more possibility.
He listens to all of the ancient alien things, and then he gets the actual experts that talk about why they're kind of fluffing it up a little bit. And the explanation that this debunked guy gives is actually even more interesting than the half-truth that the ancient alien people are putting in. So first I watched the ancient alien side, and then I watched Debunked. They're actually both really good, but they're both different. So watch this if you have a chance. Ancient Aliens Debunked, full movie, 3 hours and 10 minutes. If you have that time to spend, check it out. I think it's worth it.
The door can come downstairs and give you a tour.
Wow. Wow.
I haven't been up here in a little while now. And then his bed is just a plank of wood hanging from the ceiling. So
This
not
is
that
it.
we come through lights, that's bed.
It's so tiny.
Yeah, exactly. But he was only 5 feet tall. So.
Yeah.
And then there was a mechanism, and it's not part of it anymore. But he
We
could lift
hoist
it
it
out of
up.
the way to get it out of the way during the day.
To get it out of the way.
That's
This
where he
chair,
lived.
Made out of old bicycle parts. It's a nice little chair to relax in. And
the chair made out of old bicycle parts. I mean, this to me, this looks like a dungeon or prison.
I had a girl, when I first started guiding him, a girl brought me up and she says, this is where he time traveled. Like it would sit there, it would spin really fast, and that's how we would time travel. And I thought, yes.
This is his actual height, right?
This is about 5 feet tall. It's just
That's his height. 5 feet tall, 100 pounds.
not the place. So there's better ones though.
So this right here,
It's a very small man.
very tiny man. Big ideas.
Now I'm going to show you something really cool.
Okay.
This, 610-5195.
Mm-hmm.
They say that that's the secret code of Port Castle, and those numbers unlock the mysteries of the Port Castle.
They said this is the secret code. 610-5196. That has something to do with his secret of how he did all of it.
5195.
And I watched a YouTube video one day that went on for like...
Give me just a second. I'm just going to look back in my collection and see if I can find the book. I think it might be.
Maybe
I think I
was
know
the
what it looks
number
like. Hold
of his
on.
naturalization certificate. I guess we'll never know.
Ed Sundial is the only one that they know of that tells time in 3 different ways. It tells you the time of day, the month of the year, and the season.
Ed's sundial is pretty unique. This type of sundial is known as an equatorial sundial. In this design, the sundial's face is aligned with the Earth's equator, and a gnomon, which is the part that casts the shadow, is set parallel to the Earth's rotational axis. This allows the sundial to track the sun's movement more consistently throughout the year. What's interesting and rare about this sundial is that it doesn't only track the time of day, but it also tracks the longest and shortest days of the year, the summer and winter solstices. Just another example of Ed going above and beyond. Over here, also another one of the most fascinating parts is this obelisk. So if you look at, you see this hole through here. It points directly into these crosshairs. And
I couldn't find it. I'll look later. It fits in between regular books because it's so thin. It's like this very tiny, thin blue one, the one that I'm thinking of.
And so at night, if you stare through this into the crosshairs, you will see Polaris, the North Star, in one of those 4 quadrants. So it would tell you what season you're in, you know, and for him to move all of this in an exact position, it just shows you that these rocks weren't just placed randomly. Like, they had to be specifically placed and possibly even moved after they were placed to find the exact spot. I think that's what he's trying to show us here, is that, hey, the calendar, this thing, these aren't just random structures. I was able to move them the slightest amount if I wanted to. He wasn't a very tall guy. He was a little guy, a little bathtub.
This is called Area 52. I'm going to put the link in the chat just in case anybody wants to see the full thing.
Steps to get up there. This is really interesting. So what does that look like to you, Nelson? Looks like a bird bath. It's a mirror. So the bottom, if you notice, the bottom has that dark rock in it. Well, that would allow him to see his own reflection. This was his bathroom. These are
That was his bathroom. That was his mirror.
beds, by the way.
Oh, for the baby.
Yeah,
Kids.
the baby, the crib. He was planning on having his family live here. This here was for punishing if the children were being scolded. So although Ed was a brilliant self-taught engineer, he did have some interesting takes when it came to family life. This was quoted during his tour. "I believe in good behavior, and if one forsakes it, one must be punished. My repentance corner, however, is not just for misbehaved children. There's a place for Sweet 16 if she sasses me back."
Repentance corner, and then a place for his lady if she sassed him back. Pretty old school.
Heads are placed in the openings, and I lock them in with a block of wood. An hour of my counseling in that position would straighten anybody out. Which is why during the tour they tend to focus a little more on his engineering marvels. Again, different era, different time. And speaking of a different era, it was finally time to sit down with one of the last remaining people to have ever met Ed Leedskalnin. 94-year-old Charles Caron.
Are we on?
We are on.
All right. Well, I'm delighted to meet you.
Oh, likewise. What a pleasure.
I was born here in Homestead, lived here for 3 years, and I remember I don't remember Carl Castle, to be absolutely honest, but I remember the old gentleman who built it. Homestead, as I recall, had only one two-story building, and it was a brown wood frame, unpainted building, and then
That looks very depressing to me. Imagine going back in that time period with a bunch of neon colors, neon green, neon pink. Everything back then, it seems like you didn't even need color TV. Everybody was wearing black and white suits. Everything just looked black, white, gray.
on the second floor was the office of Dr. Hartman. That was the doctor who delivered me and my dad's best friend. And so we had been to, or on our way to Dr.
Have you guys ever noticed that sometimes people look like their pet? What would this guy's pet be? He's got some powerful cheeks here.
Hartman's office. And the
He kind of looks like Huckleberry Hound, the cartoon guy.
gentleman that built Carl Castle was sitting on his bicycle, leaning against the wall, and I think having a soft drink from the pharmacy.
Not Huckleberry.
At any rate,
Not Huckleberry Hound. Who am I thinking of? Dune? Is it Dunes? I don't know.
I probably would not have remembered that if my parents had not talked about him. But they knew who he was. They knew he was pretty much a loner.
Droopy Dog? Is that the name?
I don't think he had any social life at all. But he had built Carl Castle, which was an amazing accomplishment. And the town.
That's right. That's who I was thinking of. I was thinking of Droopy Dog. You got it. This one right here. This dude.
People knew it because they.
I miss Droopy Dog. Droopy's greatest moments. We should check that.
Knew he had moved all these enormous stones by himself. There was nobody else here to help him. And he even said, and this, I remember my father quoting this, he even said that he knew the secret of the pyramids. Now, I've been in the pyramids. I went up the Pyramid of Khufu, which is the biggest.
I've never been to the pyramids. That's something that I really hope to see in person in my lifetime. I'd really like to go visit the pyramids.
There in northern Egypt. The difference between what was done here at Carl Castle and the pyramids were built by armies of men. This old man did this by himself. How did he do it? And I don't think the townspeople at that time were alert enough or interested enough to realize what he was doing. I couldn't appreciate the fact that he was moving these stones, individual stones weighing tons.
Do you think anyone will ever solve the mysteries of Coral Castle?
I doubt it. I really doubt it.
There are a lot of different fan theory videos of how he did it on here. Some people think that they have it nailed, but I haven't heard anything that like really made me think they knew.
Number one, the tools he had at his disposal were just very simple tools. And I think the mystery is in what he said, that I have discovered the secret of the pyramids. And by that, he was referring to the fact that he could move these stones.
Yeah.
I don't know the weight of them, but I'm looking at one, that spire.
Yeah.
It would take modern equipment, big equipment, to move that stone. Well, he got it standing up there.
It just feels like anybody that has an advantage, especially in that day and age, Tesla, anybody that had good ideas, they would kind of swoop in and be like, okay, we need these for military strategy. And they never really got to this guy. They didn't like put his feet to the fire and say, how are you doing this? Help us understand so that we can use it ourselves.
I later came across a book titled Mr. Kant is Dead by Orville M. Irwin. This book wasn't easy to find. Orville was a longtime friend of Ed's, and in his book goes into surprising detail of how Ed allegedly cut, carved, and moved these stones. In fact, Orville also claims that he was the one that drove the truck that these rocks were moved on, saying although Ed did indeed work alone to place the stones on the truck bed, it did take him several weeks to accomplish this, and the move from the first location to Homestead took most of the year. A far cry from the alleged overnight move. He claims that Ed had no regard for time, that he would work tirelessly to achieve these incredible feats at his own pace, using the simple tools that were available to him, mentioning that today's generation in the 1950s were push-button kids, a generation that would rather do things at the push of a button than believe that a single man could accomplish all of this by the sweat of his brow.
He thought that those kids in that era were push-button kids.
In a July 1939 issue of a local paper, the Redland District News, there was an article about his moving job captioned, "Ed is doing a colossal job of moving, but he wants no help, thank you." It described how he worked pulling and laboring and unloading some of the massive pieces
Dude kind of looks like Conor McGregor.
of rock, and then continued, "He will decline your neighborly gesture courteously but firmly." According to Orville, making this statement, and I quote, Ed wanted to tell people this would not be one of those tourist places where folks get fooled. Interesting. But in my opinion, does not make Coral Castle any less of a mystery.
There's Nelson, by the way. What do you think about all of this? What are your thoughts on this, man?
I've been here 2 times before, and like I told you, the first time.
God, just got scared. Sorry.
What?
In that window.
Jeez, yeah, that's terrifying. Watching.
Yeah.
No, anyway, so the first time was like a very special experience. I really enjoyed it. The second time I came, I felt like they really tried to hammer home some really wild stuff, and I was not there for it.
So 102 years old, 1923.
And so I kind of left thinking about this place like that. But coming back here and hearing a lot more in-depth stories about things I didn't even
Brian
know
on the go, what up?
Yeah, I don't know if there's... It's clear that there's some things that he probably just did through manual labor. He was a smart guy, had the tools, made the tools. Other things, he did something else, and that is absolutely clear. I just don't know what it is, and that's the mystery, and you can't like explain that away.
I want to check this out. Hold on.
Just months after the bombshell 2025 pyramid discoveries, the world just got another groundbreaking discovery from Egypt. New radar scans from only a few weeks ago reveal...
So this came out 2 weeks ago. I've been doing a lot of deep dives on this. They're doing the underground scans under the pyramid, and they're pretty much determining that these are just power structures.
Something utterly impossible, hidden even deeper beneath Giza, that will completely rewrite the history of the pyramids as we know it. Originally, in March 2025, archaeologists uncovered something beneath the Pyramid of Khafra at Giza that sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Professor Corrado Malanga and Filippo Bion...
Ellie E, thank you so much. Mike K, Captain Caveman, Mary C, Scott, and the Truth Warrior. Congratulations. Please thank Ellie in the chat. Ellie, thank you so much. Thank you for making new members in here. Appreciate that.
Revealed radar scans showing spiraling staircases and massive vertical shafts extending over 2,000 feet below Egypt's sands. Structures so precise, so deliberately built that dismissing them as natural formations seemed almost impossible. Despite this, mainstream Egyptologists, led notably by Dr. Zahi Hawass, quickly tried to brush off these revelations, labeling them mere radar anomalies or misunderstandings.
I want you to understand, this conspiracy theory that you do have is wrong completely. We do not hide anything.
Welcome to all the new homies that Ellie just made. Thank you, Jack and Neve, for 16 months. What up? Thank you.
But just weeks ago, something even more astonishing emerged. An underground discovery that you genuinely won't believe. Stick around, because what they found beneath the pyramids could change everything we think we know about ancient Egypt. This latest radar scan confirmed the existence of a vast underground network beneath Khafre, an intricate, deliberately engineered maze of symmetrical chambers, extensive tunnels, and carefully constructed spaces. The complexity and precision of these hidden structures immediately raised big questions. Who created them? And how could something this significant have remained hidden for thousands of years? Could this underground world have been built by a civilization we know nothing about? Adding another layer of intrigue, a completely separate team of Japanese researchers uncovered another mysterious formation near the Western Cemetery at Giza. Using advanced ground-penetrating radar and electrical resistivity tomography, they identified a strange, deliberately concealed L-shaped structure, buried just 2 meters below the sand. But that's not all. Beneath this structure lies something even more puzzling, a large, perfectly square cavity located 5 to 10 meters underground. Could this be an ancient portal or entrance to something even deeper and more mysterious? In this video, we're going straight to the heart of these new revelations.
And when they look at all of the carvings and the history that's near or on the pyramids, they knew exactly the positions of the planets. They knew where we were very accurately in the solar system. Pretty crazy.
We'll unpack Malanga's groundbreaking findings beneath the Khafra Pyramid, the mysterious portal-like structures beneath the... He suggested the radar data was possibly exaggerated, advising caution and urging further research before jumping to conclusions about human-made structures beneath the pyramids. Many other mainstream archaeologists echoed Hawas's doubts. They argued that the...
Angelo member for 22 months in my gallon. Thank you so much. It's a swimming pool. That'd be dope. Like a parking garage with just different tiers of hot springs and swimming pools.
Spiral patterns and radar readings could
Angela,
simply reflect
thank you so much, man.
natural rock formations or even errors from the radar equipment. These experts reminded the public that similar radar anomalies in the past had turned out to have natural explanations after detailed studies. However, history shows us that groundbreaking archaeological discoveries often face skepticism before being accepted. For example, when Tutankhamun's tomb was first discovered, or when the Dead Sea Scrolls appeared, mainstream...
Whoa, look at this. They loved cats back then. Look at it's like a deer cat. Oh, that reminds me. There's something I wanted to show. This is a fox that I want.
Get out!
I think the face of a fox is so cute. It reminds me of a Shiba Inu. That's my favorite dog. Just really low eyes, huge smile.
Get out of the road! What are you doing? What the?
He's got chicken in his mouth.
What are you doing? What the?
He said, "Mom."
Get out of the road! What are you doing? What the?
He's got chicken in his mouth.
They just had an indoor fox as their pet.
Can I give you a boop? Boop. Good boy. Aww. Can I give you a boop? Boop. Good boy. Aww.
Those ears.
That's what this reminded me of here.
Archaeology initially hesitated. Likewise, these radar anomalies beneath Giza faced immediate pushback from traditional archaeologists. Despite mainstream skepticism, however, the team who made these discoveries stood firmly behind their findings. Professor Malanga's group had used high-resolution radar technology, and their data clearly showed these spiral...
Sean Clark, when are you coming back to Los Angeles? Hopefully pretty soon. I know I'll be back before the end of the year. Last year at this time, I came back and then the Dodgers won. And then I came back after that for Halloween. And then I came back after that for the LAOC Christmas party in Riverside. So we'll see. Hopefully I can have a couple trips. But at least I will be back before the end of the year.
Spiral structures and underground cavities. They emphasize the need for further careful exploration rather than outright dismissal.
Thank you, Shannon Hansen. Jeremy, can we see your kitty before the end of the stream? I want to say yes. Linda was sick earlier this week, and right before the stream, I went upstairs. The kitty was cinnabunned up on her on the couch, purring like the cat's purr helps you heal. So the cat was trying to heal his mom. I'm almost positive, though, that he'll be down here, especially if I go up. Yes, the answer is yes. If I go upstairs, shake the treats container, he will definitely reveal himself and then probably follow me back down here. So, yes.
These original March discoveries.
Thank you, Shannon.
Also raised more questions than answers. Were these mysterious spiral formations beneath Khafra deliberately constructed, or just unusual natural features? Did these radar anomalies hint at ancient water tunnels, or something?
We catch and eat foxes here in LA, WW. Do you wear the tail on the hat? Like Jim Hackett? What was the old school what's his name? The old prospector guy that had the Davy Crockett? Yeah, maybe Davy Crockett had the tail hat.
Something else entirely. At that moment, researchers had no idea these initial discoveries were merely the beginning.
To change up the topic a little bit, I was in the mountains earlier this week. Linda and I went and we got to drive around in the new Cybertruck, which is pretty cool. It was at the dealership. It was at the Tesla dealership. And the guy was like, well, do you want to do the regular Cybertruck or do you want to do the Beast? And I was like, what's the Beast? And he's like, it has an additional motor. So it's the upgraded version. And it was what we saw. Well, I don't know. I'll show you here in a second, but I think it does 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. This is the outside. Whoops, hold on. The tires looked like that because we took it on some like Colorado camping trails. It was really cool. It was really intimidating though because the wheels turn like inside out like this. Sometimes you're driving it and the back wheels will turn in as the front ones turn the opposite way. It's really bizarre. When I was pulling it out of the parking spot, when you move the steering wheel feels really bizarre, but it makes the tires move and it makes a sound like a wrench, like sneakers on a gym floor or something. So as I was pulling it out, I thought I wrecked it. And it was one of the worst feelings. Like I thought that I like smeared that side of it right as I was pulling it out. And then later, as I was turning it more, I was like, okay, that's the sound of the tires like moving against the pavement. This is the back part of it. I don't love this angle. I saw somebody on YouTube, they buffed the whole Cybertruck and made it look mirror. I think that's illegal because it was so shiny. I don't love how this back looks. And inside, I didn't love how the window was just so big, the front window.
Driving it off-road.
So this is the camping trail that we were on. the steering wheel is this really tiny little steering wheel. I like the Model S that has the video screen right here. So it shows you like the mile per hour. If you're taking a right, it shows you like a little video right here. I think that needs that. But this is what I was talking about the other night with the little window that you used to move in on the old pickup trucks. That's what this reminded me of. But they needed it because this thing is so long in here. It was so far from my hand to the actual end. And then this is one massive window wiper. But look at where I'm driving this as Linda's filming this.
So shaky.
We were on these like Colorado trails where huge dips in the road where you needed like a big truck to be able to balance it out. And one of the reviewer guys I was watching, one of the reviewer guys was like, my wife is mad at me because I floored the Cybertruck and she told me to let her out. That's what Linda did. Linda, I got it on the main road and I floored it. And she was like, if you're going to do that, you need to take me back and let me out. I was like, no, I'm just kind of testing it out. She's like, no, if you're doing that, you need to take me back. Does it solar charge? It should. But those batteries on the electric vehicles take a really long time to charge. Like if you plug one in at your house, it'll take you 15 hours or so to get a full charge just off of your regular outlet. And that's why when you go to a charging station, it maybe is like a half hour or something like that. And then if you go to a supercharger, maybe you can get a full charge in like 15, 20 minutes. But yeah, doing it, it would take a very high powered solar charger to be able to do that. And even at that, it would take, I want to say, a week to charge it. Because at your house, it'll take 24 hours to charge. So yeah, Linda didn't like it. I ended up not loving the shape of it overall. 0 to 60, 2.4, I want to say. The Lamborghini losing to the Cybertruck. I'm gonna see if I can show you how the wheels
So one of the
turn
most
in.
expensive vehicles I ever bought is the Tesla Cyber Beast, their tri-motor Foundation Series Cybertruck. And this is probably the most controversial vehicle that has ever been released. So many hate comments, both online and in person. And my son, that's my son way back there. Apparently my wife's pointing out to me. But I recently did a video on some of the things I understand why people hate it, because there are things I hate about this. But honestly, this is the best vehicle I've ever bought. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to tell you the 10 biggest reasons I love this vehicle.
Here's the trunk area.
Hey, you can play music from the outside of this, and the Easter eggs we looked at, a whole bunch of stuff. The air conditioning can...
Really big back seat. Pretty cool little back window if you did have the trunk area open.
Go while the motor, like I said, it's always on, but the air conditioning, and you can watch Netflix and YouTube, whatever you're doing while you're waiting. So the storage and tailgating, as I said over and over, yes.
Okay, I want to see him
have their
floor
windshield cracked a little bit. I mean, if you push it on anything hard enough, it's going to break. But the fact that I get to drive around one of the strongest, most powerful vehicles out there is the 8th thing I love about the Tesla Cybertruck. All right, so one of the coolest things is it has something called launch mode, which that's how you get from 0 to 60 in 2.1. You can probably get there in 2.5 without it. but you make sure you have it on beast mode. You make sure you have it on.
Julie, Tesla sucks. Very hard to put out if it catches on fire. Yeah, those battery fires, you almost just have to let them burn out. If anybody remembers when I was in Newport Beach when this whole neighborhood caught on fire and there were a couple electric vehicles there, they burned for so long. It seemed like it burned for 5 hours or something like that, and they just had to sit and watch it. All right, watch how fast this thing goes.
On the lowest ride setting to the ground, and if someone really wants to beat you off the line who has a decent car, you put it in those settings, you stop, and then you push on both the gas and the brake at the same time. And it's getting ready to put it in launch mode. And watch this, and watch us go. It's entering into the cheetah stance, and here we go. So I'm a little limited because we are in a school parking lot, but if you didn't hear us get our heads thrown back to the chair, you totally missed out. So this brings us to the thing I love the most is this doesn't ride like a truck or a race car, and part of that's because it is an electric vehicle. It is so incredibly smooth that it's confusing, honestly, the first few times you drive it.
So that's what I thought too. It felt bizarre having it be as smooth as it was, and I didn't like the steering wheel at all. In a bigger vehicle, you kind of, if you're in like a big truck or a big SUV, you go a little bit past your turn and then you turn in because you know your vehicle's longer. With this one, it tried to compensate with the wheels going like this. It's very bizarre. I didn't get used to it. It felt really weird. Let's see if I can find it doing that.
Lights. I don't really know what it's doing right now, but that's interesting.
Some people don't like how
completely different
basic it is.
system.
Oh, here are the tires. So watch, this will go in and this one will go in too.
And the steering feel is so different.
So yeah, this is turned in and this is turned in.
You do get used to it after a little while though, but it's unlike anything that I've ever felt before. And the turning radius is amazing.
The turning radius is why I think
Steering is so different. This is steering by wire, I think they call it. And yeah, the steering wheel doesn't have a link to the wheels. It's a completely different system. And the steering feel is so different. You do get used to it after a little while though, but it's unlike anything that I've ever felt before. And the turning radius is amazing. And just look at this gigantic.
the windshield
This
is
thing is
way
so big.
windshield is way too big.
And the dash is huge. The biggest dashboard I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it's like super long. This thing is just stupid fast.
The Jeep that I have is incredibly fast, 500 horsepower. This thing felt like 3 of my Jeep. It was insane. I was watching this earlier. Whenever you go to any of these cam spots like Kitten Cam, scroll through and find the action and then go check out the action. It usually has like 12-hour chunks. Whoa, look how separated they are. It's like tic-tac-toe. This corgi needs to come lay right there for the win. This is what my cat does. He lays in like a little bit of sun. That's crazy. I like that. Just a puddle of kittens. Let's go back to when they were awake. He's got his slapping foot up. Oh, this one's watching from below. He was threatening to jump up there. Whoa, look, they're all below her right here. She's showing them the live chat. Scooter Aura, what up, man? How you doing? Happy Saturday. That's Linda's dream right there, just to like be in the middle of a kitten puddle like this. This is a live cam. I think this is Japan. Live monkey cam. They pull on this. There's a little rope right here, and then this has water that drains out of the bottom. Oh, he's pulling on it. I didn't see anything come out, though. And there's just always a few deer. Here, watch. I'll go back to different points in the stream. It seems like there's always one or two deer just hanging out. Oh, this is nighttime. Wow, so we're watching it live. This is the active time right now. You want to say something in the mic? Jack and Neve, what up? Dave, my dad used to drive a tiller wheel on the fire truck. Yeah, you're right. That is what that looks like. This cat's been really sweet lately. Oh, he wants to sing a little bit. This is for Shannon. I'll show you what he looks like cruising around up here. This cat's a Bronco fan. Go deep, bro. This is the Bronco Championship football. It's got a picture of the stadium on the back. I'm wearing my Rick and Morty sweatpants. This is one of the otter areas in one of the aquariums. See if it'll let me go back. Oh, they're still up. You can see them floating around in here. Oops. Oh, he's right there. They sleep on their back with their belly up. That's my favorite thing to do in a pool is the dead man's float like that. Just lay there, make your body buoyant, and then just look up at the stars. Your ears are covered like a sensory deprivation tank. It's super cool. We were watching this a little bit last night. This is Bourbon Street in New Orleans. Oh, look at this guy with the big stick. His staff. Hold on, I'm going to try to do a little bit of the audio and see if we can hear what's going on. Look at this dude. So there's something that happens in New Orleans where everybody dresses in red for a little bit. I think it's some kind of like charity run or walk or something like that. That's why a lot of people are in red outfits. I was watching it earlier and it was the balcony one. Here, let me see. This angle from the balcony. This is Cat's Meow. You could see a lot of people below had red outfits on. And this is what I was talking about last night. At the end of the night, the gutters are just filled with trash. So I went the next morning and all over the French Quarter, Bourbon Street, just trash, straws, plastic cups, a lot of these grenade drinks. Oh, there we go. I was trying to figure out how to resize it. Michelle, what up? People watching and not leaving my house. Excellent. Frogzim, what up? Good to see you. I dig the vibe here. I went in January and I met up with a bunch of my friends. A couple of my friends that live there invited us. And we used to have a big poker night in LA. And so my friends from NorCal, some of my friends from LA, we all kind of flew in and met up there. It's such a fun place to be on vacation with people you know. But even if you don't go down there with friends, you can do the Cajun tour on your own. The haunted tour, we went through the cemeteries, and a lot of the people are built on top of the ground. So there's like little mausoleums and a lot of cool stuff to see. I really liked the Bayou tour. That was one of my favorite parts. We did like a plantation tour that was interesting. I took 1,000 pictures. Shannon, Jeremy, I remember a live you did. You were on this live cam. Oh yeah, it's true. I don't know if you saw that or not, but it was, so this is the corner. Here, let me see. Let's switch it back. This is the lower angle. This is the upstairs angle. You can see the car went through. This car is just getting ready right here. Yeah, but I was in a piano bar that was right here. So right around the corner right here. And some friends of mine were inside and I made them hold on to my phone. And then I went out here and started dancing for a little bit. And then they each wanted to do that and like have my phone recording their phone. Oh, this dude's wearing like a Little Orphan Annie sequin dress right here. Oh, all these dudes are wearing mini skirt dresses. Whoa, bro. Whoa. Yeah, it's a fun vibe. But like I was saying last night, definitely take a dummy wallet so that when you get mugged, you can give them something that just gets them away from you, but they don't get your real wallet. And then don't take a watch that you value having in your life. It'll end up being somebody else's watch in a dark alley. I'm going to try to turn this up just a little bit. Yeah. I've been live for 2 hours. Thank you to everybody that's been here the whole time. It's Saturday night. In Denver, it's 11:16. Here's the view over the top. Actually, I don't think that... I think this is a different area. Cats meow. I'm not sure if that's around the corner from that or not. 112 million views. This is the Sturgis live cam, but as you can see, I'm kind of dragging the bottom here. On any of these, you can drag it back and see when it was popping. I've never been to Sturgis while this was going on. This is Main Street. This is like the concert venue area. Harley Davidson stage right here. Let's rewind this one. All right, here's when it was popping. One of my grandmas had a trike motorcycle. She and her boyfriend both bought these trikes, and they would go out there. They'd go to Mount Rushmore, Black Hills, and then just kind of be there for this. It's like the whole town is in black biker chaps. Yeah. So she lived in Minnesota. One of my grandmas lived in Minnesota for a little bit. So they drove from the Twin Cities over there to Sturgis right here. Not really my scene, but I still, it doesn't need to be my specific taste in anything for me to go and have fun doing that. I'm gonna try to rewind this otter cam. Neither one of those are letting me. Hold on.
Of turtles that have existed throughout history. And in 2012, research... When left in the right environment, animals can become fossilized over thousands and millions of years. Almost everything we know about the prehistoric world has been learned from the discovery of fossils, and they've proven to be an incredible window into the past. While something can be learned from all of them, there are undoubtedly some of them that are more important and fascinating than the rest. So join me for today's video. We're going to take a look at 15 incredible animal fossils.
When we were looking at the Coral Castle rock, that all came out of the ocean, so there must have been so many cool fossils like baked into
Number 15, hematite tubes. Ever since scientists realized that fossils were the remains of creatures from long ago, there's been a drive to find evidence of the first types of life to ever develop on our planet. Amazingly, a study that was published in 2017 revealed details of a set of fossils that not only predate anything that's ever been seen before, but can be dated far earlier than anyone had expected of any life forms to exist. Our planet is around 4.5 billion years old, and it's extremely hard to look back to the earliest stages because the Earth's crust is constantly recycling itself. There are a few outcrops of rock that remain though, and it's within one of these, which was found in northern Quebec in Canada, that produced unexpected results. Dated to more than 3.77 billion years old and potentially originating more than 4 billion years ago. The researchers took thin slices of the rock and discovered tiny tubes within it that were made up of an iron oxide called hematite and hematite filaments that branch out from them. These look exactly like other more recent fossils that have been found and determined to have been formed by bacteria around deep-sea hydrothermal vents, and are now seen as evidence that life forms like this must have been around surprisingly early in the Earth's development. While these fossils may be tiny, they're arguably some of the most important to have ever been discovered. Turtles are some of the most majestic and loved animals of all.
I like watching things that show old turtles, like turtles that are still living and prehistoric turtle shells. These things were around when dinosaurs were around.
On our planet, there's no knowing how many frightful prehistoric beasts there are still to discover. Researchers from Oslo University came face to face with a new horror from the deep in 2012 when they discovered a fossil on the remote island of Spitsbergen, which is on the Svalbard island chain and is known as an Arctic graveyard for ancient animals. During the expedition, they found the remains of 28 pliosaurs and ichthyosaurs, which were the dominant marine predators in the region around
Hold on, I want to see if this is cool. This is a channel called Coda Bear the Explorer. They're doing a Disneyland tour. This is the light show at Disneyland. This is live right now. This is the name of the channel. Coda Bear the Explorer. This is one of my favorite parts of being at Disneyland. The light show. Oh no, I forgot. We can't do the music. They'll definitely copyright strike us for the music. So you can see all the fountains here at the bottom, but they're misting water and then they're doing a projection on the mist. It looks really cool. They'll shoot the mist up and then it looks like a shark comes out of the water at you. They changed this up a lot too. I don't think I've seen this one that they're showing right now. Now that Disney Channel started streaming, they brought out a lot of the older cartoons that I used to watch in the 80s, cleaned them up a lot. I think it's really cool to go back and watch some of that old stuff, and some of it's still amazing, way better than the newer stuff that they're making. Sean 35, I had to get a fresh lemonade, and me and the wife split a funnel cake. That's awesome. The lemonade at the state fair, it's always the best lemonade, but when you go behind the counter, you'll see it's just Country Time lemonade, and then they're squeezing fresh lemons into Country Time. And then when I saw that, I would always get like the $5 lemonade, and it was always the best. Then when I realized what they were doing, I started getting Country Time myself and doing the same thing, putting fresh lemons in it. I started drinking that lemonade last year, probably September to October. I gained like 7 pounds and then stopped drinking the lemonade and lost like 7 or 8 pounds. So yeah, drinking Kool-Aid or lemonade, anything with a ton of sugar, not good if you are a chubby person like me. It's just gonna hurt even more. So this channel again, this is Coda Bear the Explorer. I like seeing some of these live stream Disney channels because I don't like waiting in lines. So now I can kind of scrub back through like this. If anybody saw my stream when I was in Fort Collins, Colorado, they modeled the main street here after the actual street in town there in Fort Collins. And it really does have the same vibe. Like it just looks similar. This has a lot more light. The older I get, the more I don't want to be in crowds. Oh, I want to see this though. The shows that come through at night are so cool. I don't like staying there super late. So before I moved to Colorado, I was living in Irvine, there are a lot of people that lived in Buena Vista, Anaheim, all those surrounding areas that had jobs at Disney. Security, valet, working at the hotels, working at any of the rides. They employ a lot of people. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find this. Let me know in the chat if you've ever seen this guy. He kind of looks like Raiden from Mortal Kombat. But he does this thing where he grabs the laser beam. Here, I'll turn this up a little bit. He's playing like a harp. I think he has a little piece of glass on his hand that he's reflecting the laser up. And then he kind of turns it, and I think there's a piece of glass on each side that reflects it, and it looks like he's holding the laser. It's so cool. So I don't understand how this works exactly, but I think he learned the choreography to be in the right spots, and then he's got the reflective things on his hands, and then he just kind of has them both back to back in the right spots to make it look like he's holding it. I think that's how he's doing it. Whoa. I've seen one where he throws it. He like throws it and it looks like it's leaving and then he grabs it back. So cool. And this live stream is Coda the bear. Shannon, Mama Hill, Michael Simpson, Ellie, anybody that was at the Christmas party last year. What's the name of the live streamer that was there that does the Disneyland tours? Can't think of his name. I think he got hurt during this last covering the ice riot in LA. Somebody told me that he took a rubber bullet to the chin or something like that. T. Lucera, I watch Kodo and I'm bored. Oh, that's the dude from Aladdin, right? This one. Oh, this is the one I wanted to see. I like Monsters, Inc. Oh, and here's Cars back here. Cars is behind them. Right back here. Oh, wait. Back here. The kids are yelling, "Hi, Scully." So this is what the kids have now. I'll show you what I had. Hold on, I'll let you keep watching. So this is what kids have now. I'm going to show you what I grew up with. Whoops, hold on. This is what I had. Oh, it's still just like Jack's my adrenaline up. And back when I was watching this, I was like, that looks real. That's a real bear. How did they do that? That's a real gorilla. How did they get him to play the keys like that? This is at ShowBiz Pizza Place. The band's called Rockafire Explosion. And there's Billy Bob. One, two, threat in the middle. Wait, what am I doing? I'm mixing up two different people. Goofy's Guy Adventures. That wasn't the guy at the park. Oh, am I? I mean, I do that a lot. I mix up people. Goofy Guy Adventures. I think you're right. I think it is Goofy Guy Adventures. Let me look that up. Mama Hill, thank you. Not uncommon for me to mix stuff up like that. Ask my wife. She gets so annoyed. She's like, you're so confident when you talk about some of this stuff and you're like absolutely wrong. Definitely look up anything that you get from me. Look it up. So this was the Rockafire Explosion Band. But then there was also,
Okay,
I used to go to a
let's
place.
Come on, let's go.
The place I went to was ShowBiz Pizza in Des Moines, Iowa. And this is the one that I remember.
Recognize a very important person here in this restaurant. Do you know who that is, Fats?
Me.
No, you.
They'd say all the kids' names that had birthdays. So they'd be like, there's a very special person in here. Happy birthday, Jeremy. And it would be like a totally different voice that said the name.
Okay, somebody almost as important as Fats. Who is that? Mitzi, who's that? It's
Skeezix McPherson.
no, it's me. Can it be the manager? The manager of the store. You get 10 points, Mitzi Mozzarella, because the manager of the store is the one that keeps everything going for us here at ShowBiz Pizza Place, and we just want to give you a fine howdy doody doody doo to you, Mr. Manager. Howdy doody doody doody. Thank you very much, Mr. Manager,
Jeremy, you got dementia.
for letting us work up here and do this Christmas show for everybody. And we're doing it on the
There's a little bird right here on the guitar that sings.
spirit of Christmas.
And I'd like to say he's done an especially fine job on this.
I bet somebody has these animatronics in their basement right now, like in their man cave or something. I bet somebody's like partying with these guys right now.
Arm of mine. See, can you check this?
Look at that. He brushes that arm daily. That's great. That's magic, boy.
Yeah, my hair ain't bouncing and behaving, no, I gotta tell you. It's standing straight up, and this humidity is making it all fluff up.
Yeah, and
Is it getting all wapajaw?
Yeah, it's all whopper jaw. See, one side's all crooked over here.
and
I
Mitzi,
don't like
your
it.
socks need pulling up. April Fools. Anyway,
This
Mitzi,
is a
what's
Christmas
this?
show.
Hey, you guys, manager says cut the chatter and get to the meat of the show.
This was my favorite thing over here. Whoever said that they look scary, look at this dude.
Oh, sorry, sir. Yeah, Duke, you.
I don't think his eye was supposed to look like that. I think it's just broken.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
sir.
that's
yeah,
not
Duke,
planned.
you got the spirit of happening, don't you?
Yep.
And Mitzi?
Yeah, I sure do.
Bat, you got the spirit of Christmas?
Oh yeah.
Beach Bear and
Yes.
and Looney Bird. Yeah, everybody.
Beach Bear and Looney Bird. And then this is what they have now. These LED floats are so impressive. I think the one that's coming up behind these ferries is Little Mermaid. Please support this channel. This is Coda the Explorer on YouTube. Look at this thing. Looks like Katy Perry. This isn't live. I rewound it a little bit. This is live right here. They're watching the water show that's at the very end of the night.
Yep.
Actually, they might be doing the fireworks. So I can't play the music, but anybody that lives in or around Anaheim, I think maybe it's at 11 o'clock at night. They do the fireworks, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. You can see they're doing the, I think these are bubbles or like suds. But yeah, they do fireworks every single night at Disneyland. I can't play the audio. Well, I can't play much of the audio. It's so cool. These projectors that they're using are a lot of money. So that's what it looks like live on this stream. And then we were watching the LED show that's this. I never went to Disneyland as a kid. I never won any Super Bowls and then went directly to Disneyland even in my adulthood. I think the first time I went was early 2000s. Super fun the first time. But as soon as you start waiting in lines, I like what's the I can't think of the mountain ride. Something rock. I can't think of it, but it's the one that's a roller coaster in the dark. Pretty cool. The first time. Yes, County Bear Jamboree. That was one of my favorites. Plus, you got in AC. Last time I went to Disneyland was 95. Magic Mountain. That's right. Magic Mountain. And it was a bad day if you went all the way to Disneyland and Magic Mountain was closed. Matterhorn. No, that's it. That's it. Not Magic Mountain. Matterhorn. Matterhorn. Or is it Space Mountain? Which one's in the dark? Now I'm going to look it up. Hold on. I'll give you just a little bit of the audio. Yeah, Space Mountain. I think Ellie got it. Definitely. That's what it looks like with the lights on. Disneyland got hurt during COVID. They were losing so much money per day. all these people were out of work. Here's the kind of the middle of that light show that we were watching. So impressive. This is like the old Muppet Jim Henson stuff.
But Sam just left. Oh, Dr. D, perfect. I need the electric mayhem to sing Dean safety guidelines.
Deepest ramifications, Froggy. But we haven't deepest place one extraordinarily spectacular drummer. Yeah, we can't find animal anyway.
That's the animal, the drummer for the Muppets. That's what I always call the guy that we see out on right over by Coors Field when we do the Saturday night drive. The dude that's always out there just smashing on the drums, he reminds me of Animal from Muppets.
Kermit, running out of time. Oh, roll. Pick up the tempo.
Sure, we go faster.
Okay, now who is gonna sing this?
So what we were just watching, that was like mist that they were projecting on. And then they have all these fountains in front that are like huge jet streams.
That's all you got? I said more!
She does the Marge Simpson. Like that little girl or grumble. Help me!
Regrettably, legal schmeagle is not recognized by our judicial system. We're gonna need that again. Clarity.
Minute and a half. Okay, I need someone to sing this a little faster and a lot more clearly.
Not clear.
Vicky, I think you have a lovely singing voice.
None of that was clear.
It's definitely come a long way from this.
Everybody here's got Spirit of Christmas.
Well, I don't.
Well, let's get on with the show anyway. Mitzi, tell us all about the Spirit of Christmas.
Well, I guess this year, the Spirit of Christmas for me, since it's my first Christmas being 16.
Yeah.
And so the Spirit of Christmas this year to me
Uh-huh.
is my parents
This is the
maybe getting
Stony
me a new
Surfer
car.
Bear right here.
Hey!
All right.
Well, I can definitely tell that would lift your spirits this Christmas. A new car.
Deck the halls with a new car. Fa la 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 la. I just know it's gonna be a convertible for sure. Fa la 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 la.
I always loved this. The piano that he's got, the keyboard has the subs built into the stand. I think that's so cool.
La la, but I can't drive without permission. Fa la 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 la. 'Cause my dad is taking out my transmission. Fa la 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 la.
All right. That was...
That's cute, Mitzi. Your transmit. Fats a Spirit of Christmas. Okay, it's different to everybody. To Mitzi, it's a car. What's a Spirit of Christmas make you think of?
Oh, it's not none of all that car stuff and all that
No.
stuff that you get. No, it's presents.
No, it's
stuff like
nothing
that.
material.
It ain't that. It ain't nothing to do with that.
No.
The Spirit of Christmas for me is doing lots of serious eating. That's
We
what
can
it is.
tell.
Eating everything I can get my hands on. Because when I go to my mama's house during Christmas time, ooh, she got a chicken running around in the backyard. You know we're gonna get on that chicken. You know, we got
so,
pig's
okay,
feet,
that's
dill
what-
pickles, and we got some banana cake, and we got some hog crack. We got everything.
Well,
Everything.
Fats, if you wanted to summarize it, though, and if I said, come on, Pat, summarize it in one word, what would it be?
Well, I guess it had to be my mama's wash tub cracklings.
Okay, well, that's, I
think that'll
fit.
They had to have done the audio first and then did the sync on the animals. I think that the audio is amazing.
Deck the halls with wash tub cracklings. Fa la 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 la.
Delight and tasty and not too fattening.
Fa la 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 la.
Taste so good and go down easy. Fa la 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 la. Cause them crackling show is greasy. Fa la 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 la.
It's definitely, I think it's my kind of humor from the 80s. That's still my humor.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Y'all pull up on me and
When I got off the stream last night, Linda was like, "You didn't know that it was National Pickleball Day?" And I said, "No, did you?" And she was like, "Yeah, that's why they had the wooden paddle event at the place that we play pickleball." I didn't know that. I thought just randomly they had this, oh, let's all try to play with wooden paddles. They did that because they were paying homage to the original way that people played pickleball, but I had no idea. I can hear Linda and my cat upstairs. I'm going to be live just a little bit longer. I wanted to show a couple of the win videos. Linda won't watch fail videos with me. There used to be in LA, there used to be a channel that just played like 24/7 fail videos. I think there's still one on Pluto TV. I knew this lady in LA that would charge like hundreds of dollars for these cakes, and she would deliver the cake if you wanted it to look like a guitar, or you wanted it to look like a motorcycle or whatever. There'd be different places where it was cake that you could eat, but then she'd have to kind of give you a key and say, okay, don't eat this. This is styrofoam with frosting on it. You can't eat this. You can't eat this. I thought that was really good business. She's charging hundreds. There's like a Beverly Hills cake lady. Oh, that's so dope. Wow. If I try to scrub through it a little bit more, I think that maybe it won't copyright as fast. I'm also curious to know if the 80s commercials are going to copyright. I don't think commercials should copyright. But...
Travel line that goes in style, keeping fresh press every mile. Black and Decker, self-clean iron, you can't go wrong. Nothing else will work as long. 3 items are now Black and Decker. And here's a line, if you leave it on, it goes beep beep. And if you don't return, nothing's gonna burn, 'cause it turns itself off. GE items are now Black and Decker, Black and Decker.
SOS introduces a glass cleaner that really works. Glassworks. Glassworks made with vinegar instead of ammonia cleans better than Windex. New Glassworks with vinegar cuts through the toughest greasy smudges.
Jeremy, how's that tornado? Let's check. Hold on. So here's the live Doppler. It's hitting Pueblo. It's north of Lamar. So just this strip right here looks severe. Here's where we usually drive around. I live right in here. This is from 10:30 to 1 in the morning. It's currently 11:50. So this is what it should look like right now. All moving east. This is Kansas. And then right here, this is the border for Nebraska. This area is very flat. So the mountains start right here. This is basically the plains. So a little bit of rolling hills, not too much. And then flat Kansas, flat, very flat Nebraska. And here's what it looked like earlier.
Oh, I just saw lightning.
This is what I was talking about when I say that it looks like it's raining, but then it evaporates. It'll do this where the rain is like hanging down, but then it will stop right here. And so as it's raining, it evaporates here. The rain never touches the ground. We see this almost every day. Like, oh, I thought that was debris up in the air. I think it's her dirty windshield. This is a tornado Pagey. Here, I'll move myself. Or hold on. I'll move myself, and you can see where what her Doppler looks like. Right here.
Hello, Kane. Hello, Deborah.
So she had a 6.5 hour stream. This is me just kind of scrubbing through it.
$79 degrees again, guys.
She said 79 degrees.
Fucking be made fun of again by dispatch.
And this was the golf ball size hail at 8:33. I was talking to Linda about this the other day. How many car dealerships have a hailstorm go over it, and then they go out and the whole car dealership is damaged and they have to fix all those before they can sell it. This is a channel called High Risk Chris.
I did not expect this storm chase to turn into the scariest.
High Risk Chris, check him out. But he was actually, this is from 9 days ago.
The tornado was heading directly towards the town of Arnett, and even though it was small, it clearly packed a punch. Thankfully, the stunning tornado ropes out just west of town. Immediately after dissipating,
These dudes not only go film it, they drone the area, which is cool, and then they come back and make these edited videos of the trip that are amazing. Some of these storm chasers are really like up in their game
another
lately.
tornado spins up, and we were right on its heels.
These dudes look younger. Reed Timmer is the one that everybody usually has heard of.
Way bigger than the last one. Yeah, it is.
During the rope out phase, the tornado did one of the most unique things I have ever seen.
Look at that! Oh, look at that! Oh, it's like a helical! Oh my god!
I've never seen that.
That was incredible.
Looks like a DNA
The storm
double
was
helix.
still going strong, so we continued east, riding in the long line of storm chasers. The storm kept storming, but something wasn't.
It's like a caravan convoy of all these different streamers, storm chasers, news stations.
Right in the atmosphere for tornadoes, the supercell transitioned into an elevated, non-tornadic storm, but it was still gorgeous. At this point, we already had an amazing chase, documenting 4 tornadoes, 2 of which were incredible. Many other chasers called it.
So this was one that hit my hometown. This is where I grew up, Winterset, Iowa.
This is gonna be a long one.
So
Look at that.
this, my grandma and my uncle live across from each other in the farm rural area. This tornado went behind my uncle's property and completely took out 2 of his neighbors. Several people died, left just the foundation. Everything else was scattered. It was just like a 2 or 3 block gap from this tornado hitting my uncle and my grandma's house and taking out everything. My grandma's in her late 90s. The house that she lives in was built by hand. My uncle poured the concrete foundation, and then my uncle and my grandpa, just 3 little pig style, did concrete and bricks and just made like a rectangle. And that's what my grandma lives in to this day. I want to say it would have held up well because it was brick, but I don't know. The roof would have been gone for sure. Everything inside, all of her commemorative plates would have been gone.
Oh my, you idiots. Come on. Look at the side of it, the color cloud on the left.
Whoa,
He
it's
has no
like
idea what he's driving into.
He's driving
right
into this passing over.
Yeah, now he's pulling.
Oh,
The roar. Getting blasted. Power flashes. Power flash.
Holy smoke.
Careful, Steven.
oh, it looked like that vehicle just rolled up here.
We're good.
The wind's gonna flip around. It's past.
Sorry, this is just an
It's flipping
extremely tense situation.
We're good.
We're good.
Look at all the other storm chasers.
Watch the power lines to the left. They're plenty of distance away from the road.
The power lines could just like fall around you, trap you in.
Oh, you're good.
Trying to get up here to the left.
It's gonna be on the
Get a view on the right. On the right.
It's past. It's past.
It's past us. Definitely past.
Oh, there it is. Look at the vortice ahead of it.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
the rope.
Wow.
Right out the
Oh
window
my
there.
God,
There's a satellite rope right there. There's a satellite rope right there.
Careful. It might be. It's right up there.
Yep.
Are we done?
Yeah. This.
When I was really little, it rained a lot. This is like late November, I think. It rained a lot and then froze. And almost all of the trees in my hometown buckled over. So telephone lines were down. And so many people lost their epic trees, like hundreds of year old trees, just cracking, breaking. And I remember I woke up and I looked outside the window and I didn't even recognize my neighborhood. Everything was down and debris all over in the road. And my dad was like, we have to go out and get on the ladder and try to warm up some of the trees. We had an extension cord. My dad and I are both taking turns on the ladder, holding a hair dryer up to these trees. They weren't huge trees, but they were like bending over. And we were like lightly tapping them with a broom handle, trying to knock the ice off of them. But then when that didn't work, we were like hair drying the trees. Pretty crazy. Ice storms are epic.
(1998). At noon today, I declared a state of civil emergency,
realizing Mainers would be without power and, more importantly, heat for days at least.
Here in the town of Sabatis, there isn't a light on. Not in the local police station, not in the local market.
Yeah, and that's what was creepy too. The power went out and it was just dead silent, but you could still hear like the breaking of the tree limbs, which is such a crazy, it's like cracking from the inside. And then when the trees would fall, you could hear the like ice sound like glass breaking.
The next websites are why it off range ship
This is a
was
Montreal
now under
ice
fire.
storm.
Residents in Lewiston and Augusta woke up on the 8th to half an inch of ice on trees and power lines.
So that's what it was. It was like just a jumble. It looked like somebody poured out a bunch of toothpicks.
Central Maine Power headquarters lost power to its offices in Augusta, making restoring power to over 600,000 residents that much more difficult. It was the worst electrical.
This is a volcano that was like, I think there might have been an earthquake earlier today that provoked this volcano. This is in Fuego. There used to be really good volcano live streams, but I think the main one was in Iceland. The main one that would stream this one. I had some friends from LA that invited me to go with them. They went on a trip to go see these volcanoes. They had some really cool video that they brought back. Flying over it in helicopters and just kind of taking the tours around the outside.
There's a place on Earth that you're not allowed to go to, a continent that is larger than the United States and Mexico combined, where stepping foot there without permission can land you in prison, can get you a good ass whooping. It's not a military base, it's not a government.
I think I'm going to watch this sometime this week. This is a channel called Oompaville. I'm sure you guys have heard of it before. He has 5.78 million views. That's a lot. This is a new one that he did called Why People Can't Go to Antarctica.
It's an entire continent. It's Antarctica. And most people think it's just ice and penguins, empty, worthless.
Good night, GH fan. Brandy, thank you for hanging out with us. What up, Sonia? Smooth. Jack and Neve, what up? James, Turtlebutt, Ellie, Dave.
White. But if that's true, why does it cost tens of thousands of dollars and months of permits to just visit there? Why is it the only place on Earth that is governed by an international treaty signed by 58 nations, me not being one of them? Why are vast sections of it blurred out on Google Earth? Why is that? Something is not adding up here. I stink. I mean, I smell something that stinks. For over a century, explorers could visit Antarctica freely. Scientists mapped its coastlines, governments claimed territories, and even
I've heard a bunch of different theories on why you can't go there easily. One of them that I liked was that since there's been some global warming and some heating of these glaciers, it's melted and certain things have like popped up. And one of the people were saying that they found some pyramids that looked like the pyramids in Egypt and the other pyramids all around the world. And somebody else said they found a portal. It's intriguing. I want to see some live streamers go there and show what's happening there live. Thank you so much, Rose, for the 2-month membership. Thank you for that. That's dope. Thank you so much.
Tourists just took expeditions there to explore. Then suddenly in 1959, everything changed. The Antarctic Treaty locked down the entire continent under the most restrictive international agreement in human history. They say it's to keep you safe, because you'll die if you go there. But locking down the entire continent, that doesn't really make a lot of sense, man. That's overkill. That's bullshit. All right, homie? Harry the Rat says that's bullshit. Whatever's down there, whether it be treasure, technology, or some kind of truth that we're not ready for, someone decided that the rest of us don't get to know. We don't get to know. I don't get to know. I get to speculate, and I get to talk about it and have a lot of fun talking about it, but, you know, you just watch this video.
Does anybody in this chat know who Colin O'Brady is? So this dude, here, I'll let them tell you.
There it goes. I'm officially all alone out here.
I'm Colin O'Brady. I'm 33 years old from Portland, Oregon, and I just completed the very first crossing of Antarctica solo, unsupported, and unaided. No one had ever completed this journey, although a lot of great explorers have tried over the years, and so I was fascinated by seeing if it was possible.
That thing he's carrying behind him, he carried all of his own supplies, including all of his own poop. So like if he pooped, he had to like kind of put it in a bag and keep it frozen, because you can't just litter out there. He wanted to leave no footprint of him being there other than the tracks. So he was carrying his tent, his food, all of his supplies. And I saw an interview that he did, and he said one of the most challenging things was that the wind was blowing so hard, and he'd try to set up his tent or something. And if like he dropped a glove and the glove blew away, he was screwed. He didn't have any other way of getting supplies. Actually, I think he might have had a couple supply drops along the way, but he did a solo mission across Antarctica, and he documented it, and I watched that.
My first day alone in Antarctica, I was dropped off on the Ronnie Ice Shelf. I was so excited, but also really nervous. All of a sudden, I was like, whoa, here I am alone. What did I get myself into? This project was so challenging mentally, I think much more mentally than physically. Of course, the physical demands were extreme, being such a cold and harsh place.
That's him inside the tent.
But being alone, the physiological demands were quite intense.
Oh, I got caught out in a massive storm. I'm at the top of Leopard Glacier, there's mountains!
You know, the biggest dangers of making this crossing have to do with not having enough food, given that you're not able to take much days off, because if you take a day off, you're still eating food, burning fuel.
And his food was freezing. Like he had to heat it up through different means, but like everything that he had was just an ice block.
And running short on supplies. So for me, I actually didn't take a single day off in 54 days. I kept going in these immense storms, and the dangers of that is setting up and taking down the tent when it's 50, 60, 70 mile per hour winds. If the tent poles break or the wind carries away your tent, that's it. That can result in death.
Keep chipping away. Another 12-and-a-half-hour day out here.
The reason for continuing to go every single day became much larger than myself. I put this into the world to be able to share and hopefully have a ripple effect of inspiration throughout the world, not only for myself, but inspire others to dream big, set goals in their own lives, and realize that the impossible can become possible when you dream.
So this guy, this is a kid, kind of, Colin O'Brady. He set the record for doing the most peaks in a short period of time. Let's see if I can find it. He did the Grand Slam.
Industry said, hey, you know, I'd like to support you and be your first sponsor if this is something.
So he set the record for hiking to the top of all of these world's biggest peaks. He set the record for going to the world's biggest peaks in the shortest period of time. It was called the Grand Slam. 10-time world record holder, 2-time Everest summiter, Yale graduate, and he's just a kid.
Anyways, buckle up. We're prying open the coldest lockbox on Earth. Antarctica. First, let's start with mind-bending facts, okay? We're going to be talking about speculative conspiracies in the
Good night, Sonia. Thank you for hanging out with us.
next chapter.
Hope you have a great Sunday.
This one is facts that seem like speculative conspiracies. In 1929, workers cleaning out an old Turkish palace made a bizarre discovery. Hidden in the archives was a map drawn in 1513 by Admiral Piri Reis. You've probably heard of him. He's very famous. It's not a obscure conspiracy document that's dated somewhere when it's not supposed to be dated and all that. It's real. It's in a museum, and it shows something impossible, okay? It shows the coast of Antarctica 300 years before anyone supposedly discovered it. How in the is that possible? The map doesn't just show that a southern continent exists, it shows the actual coastline of Antarctica accurate to within miles. Well, what's the big deal about that? The coastline has been buried under ice for millions of years. No one in 1513 should have known what it looked like or how.
And this is also where some of the flat earthers speculate that this is where the ice wall is. I think they think it's like the ice wall from Game of Thrones. Like you get to the end of the map and it's there. But they won't, I guess they won't let people fly over it. The airspace is restricted. And that makes the conspiracy theories jump even more. Like what are you hiding underneath there?
How to find out what it looked like. Piri Reis noted on the map itself that he compiled it from ancient sources, some dating back to the 4th century BC, which is a long, long time ago. So that's really confusing. And in 1960, the US Air Force analyzed the map and confirmed that its geographical details match seismic surveys of the actual bedrock beneath Antarctica's ice sheet. How did they know that? I don't know. I'm asking you. Do you know? Are you a science person? Get on my comment section. So think about what that means for all of us. Someone thousands of years ago mapped Antarctica when it was covered in ice. Someone with technology to survey an entire continent from above. It seems like, at least, unless they had one of those balls from Waterworld and they got real deep down in the in the ocean and he was like, or whatever, and then there was a squid! Fortunately, it gets even more strange and bizarre. The Oronteus Phineas map from 1531, not 1513, the Piri Reis map, this is a completely different one. It shows even more detail of the southern land recently discovered. Rivers, mountain ranges, coastlines, a swastika? Why'd they put a swastika on that? Seems odd. We'll find out later in chapter 2. With some of these geographical markers matching the hidden topography beneath miles of ice that modern scientists only discovered with ground-penetrating radar in the 90s. How? Now, critics, there are critics of everything, they say it's a coincidence. It's a coincidental resemblance to a mythical continent that does not exist. Or Oronteus, if that is his real name, was just a goofy goober. Which that's possible.
I just put in the link for the full video. I'm not going to watch all this. I'm just going to scrub through it. If you want to check it out, I love this dude's channel. It's called Oompaville. Right here. Definitely throw him a sub.
Beneath Antarctica that doesn't match any geological model of the continent as well. Published research shows that heat flux near the South Pole measuring twice the expected values. Now that might not sound that dramatic, but it does represent millions of watts of unexplained.
I don't remember who the explorers were, but they had a diary of them going to Antarctica and exploring that area. They like the boat ride to get there is always crazy. Sometimes they have a window of like, we're going to pick you up at this time, and then something happens, the weather gets crazy and they can't get picked up then. In the telling of their journey, they said that the worst thing was that at a certain point they had run out of food and they had to end up eating their sled dogs. And they said that was like the most heartbreaking thing, because these dogs were like their only friends. Not only were they using them to help with the trip, like they were pulling the sleds and whatnot, but they were like giving them the moral support to keep going. And they said it was just like the most excruciating thing, eating the dogs and then not knowing, like, is this the last meal? Are they going to starve after this? Are they going to start eating each other? Like, I can't imagine being in the first cut of explorers that went to some of these places without having like good thermals, waterproof. Yeah, they were just winging it.
Energy generation. Is it those little extremophile chemosynthetic fellas chewing on sulfur and iron? Who the f knows?
And then the same thing with Lewis and Clark. Lewis and Clark had a bunch of like Native American tour guides that were helping them get through these different areas of the United States. They wouldn't have been able to get through successfully without the help of these people. These people were trapping the animals that they were just discovering for the first time. And then they paid the tour guides in IOUs and then never gave them the money. So all these people went and did all that for free. Lewis and Clark went down as like famous explorers and got all the accolades and high fives for doing that. But then the Native Americans that enabled them to do that got totally shafted.
No, something is producing massive amounts of heat deep beneath the ice, creating vast underground hot water systems and caverns that we're only beginning to map. Ground-penetrating radar and geological surveys have revealed enormous voids beneath the Antarctica ice sheet. Not small air pockets, but cavities large enough to contain entire cities, and they're not natural formations. Halo reference. They're spaces that have been carved out by sustained heat sources that shouldn't exist according to our current understanding of Antarctic geology. This cave is not a natural formation. The heat signatures don't match volcanic activity, radioactive decay, or any other known geothermal process. They're too large, too organized, and it will all be fine. There's also the hollow earth theory, which I need to make an entire video about this because there's a lot of really interesting sub-stories in and around the hollow earth that
Hollow Earth theory and then the hollow moon theory. They had an explosion on the moon and then it hummed and what's the word I'm looking for? It vibrated for hours after that. I'm gonna try to look it up.
I mean, they're interesting. Let's be real. They're very interesting. The hollow moon, already talked about that. It's scientifically explainable. But the most enduring theory in regard to Antarctica is probably the hollow earth theory. It's a theory that suggests our planet contains a habitable inner world, which is accessible through openings at the poles.
In 1969, Apollo 12 deliberately crashed the lunar module's ascent stage into the moon's surface. The resulting vibrations were recorded for an hour. This led to the idea that the moon was hollow like a bell.
One in the south, it's where Admiral Byrd flew his little suppository craft in,
vibrating,
and one at the north. There are several pieces of evidence that geniuses point to when discussing the hollow earth. Admiral Byrd's alleged alien encounters, number one, unusual aurora phenomenon in Antarctica and magnetic anomalies that can cause navigation equipment to malfunction, and satellite imagery that shows missing data around both poles. So it's like...
And that's what they try to do to explain away Bermuda Triangle. They say that it's something to do with the magnetic fields in that area that make the instruments go crazy. But that's how that dude at Coral Castle, Edward Leeds Scallon, that's how he was able to do the rock teleportation that he was doing. He said it was directly tied into using the magnetic pole of the Earth. And since he was at the equator, that's how he was moving the rocks. He had to be in that area in order for that stuff to...
They're hiding it! Ah! Good! I don't want to know about that shit. I'd rather just be a peon and just love my family and stuff, you know? Life ain't that bad. I don't need to know about aliens. By the way, we checked. The poles are blurry on Google Earth. It's missing blurred data. I'm not sure. That's not what poles look like. I don't assume they look blurry, okay? I don't think you go there and it's all blurred out. There's a lot of blurred spots on the South and North Pole. I don't know. I mean, I guess I know why. Military installation or whatever.
Thank you for watching the conspiracy theory stuff with me. The weekends are usually when Linda and I either watch horror movies or maybe go deep down some rabbit holes, and the frequency stuff is the stuff that I get like deep into. I like the different sound frequencies and then watching how sand looks and the patterns that it's making. The levitating water stuff, I think all that stuff is incredibly fascinating. I am going to end the stream. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on Friday and Saturday. I know I have a lot of improving to do. Thanks to everybody that helped me get some of the audio levels panned out for the night. I promise I'll get better and better at this. This is something that is hard for me to do because there are just so many things that I've never done before, and I don't have everything dialed in. I think by September it will be a whole lot better. So thank you for giving me a little bit of patience to learn how to do some of this, and for also allowing me not to drive and multitask in the car. It was actually nice to have a little bit of a break, stay at home with the cat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And to everybody that's listening right now, I hope you have a great week. Solid State, what up? Really dig these home streams. Thank you so much. Anybody that's allowing me to expand what I'm doing here. The field trips are fun for me, but I also want to do some recording. One of the things I'm going to be doing soon is going to a haunted house, and then I'll come back and kind of do the narration of what it was like here, pause it, give you some like behind the scenes details of the stuff that I was seeing, feeling, smelling, hearing. I'm just excited to open up a new lane and be able to do this as well. So this is not what I'm shifting into. This is just kind of something that I'm adding to. And as I get some of these layers hammered down, and I know that we're going to be able to keep the power, that the equipment's working right, then I'll add some more layers on top and try to make it a little bit more entertaining. Thanks to everybody that hung out and was with me for the kind of the groundbreaking weekend. And I will see you soon. Hope you have a great week. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you soon. Please leave comments. Have a great night. Bye.